No, you're crying.
You know, when things don't go as planned, I
Yeah.
want my insurance company to stand by me. That's why I recommend that you check out insuring your small business.
Loud. Quiet.
Quiet.
You guys coming in and listening to me?
Quiet. You guys coming in and...
All right, cool. As you come in, let me know you're here, especially if you're new. Get going as soon as we get a little bit of an audience. Well, welcome. You're new here. Good to finally meet people. Yeah, come on in, hang out. We're going to be having some fun today. So, how am I? I'm doing well. I just had to put some drops in my eyes because my eyes are all dried out from things. But yeah, cool. As you guys come in, feel free to say hi. We'll get going here in a few minutes. Give people, I always start around 7 o'clock, so I got to give people time to get in here. But yeah, it's going to ask me anything, so come on in, sit down, grab yourself a drink of some sort. How's it going, Brady? And then just come on in and just, yeah. Do we have anything on the schedule tonight? Not really. Have I started work on the new car? Kind of. I've determined that I was lied to. It needs a total rebuild on the engine, and I don't feel like doing a total rebuild, so I'm deciding whether or not I want to do it or not. Originally, I was going to pull the engine out anyways, but it's I'm looking into the money that it's going to cost because it might be cheaper just to put a different engine in it, but it also might just be cheaper to buy something else. I went through a list of things that I wanted to do to it, and it's going to cost about $5,000 to get that thing up and done, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it. Also, my buddy Daniel and his wife gave me this thing. It's nice. It doesn't hold a whole bottle of red drink, so I have red drink in the background. Ask anything. Would you suggest an AK platform or an AR platform for a medieval crusader? That's a good question. I would actually go with the AR platform for one very specific reason. Now, this is just personally, but the speed of the round, because speed defeats armor. Now, it's plate steel that they used back in the day, but I still think I would go with the AR because you have a much higher percentage, even though you're talking 10-15% higher, but 80% to 90% is a big difference of penetrating medieval armor with 5.56 or 2.23 than 7.62, depending on how good the armor is. Nah, more than likely it's going to go through it no matter what you do. I think Demo Ranch did a whole video where he shot the armor, but I'd still go with the AR-15. Also, I think it would be just more reliable in the long run. I know I just said that out loud and I'm going to get flamed, but I'm an AR-15 guy. Ow! Part-timer. Ha ha ha. Have I ever shot a SIG 365 SAS? And if so, what do I think about the sight accuracy? I like the SAS. Good question. I haven't had that one yet. For those of you that haven't seen it, the SAS is the SIG anti-snag system. So it has basically nothing on the outside to snag on, like your pants or your holster, anything like that. And the sights are actually in the slide itself. It's a circle and a dot. And the way you have to actually get your sight picture is you have to push out until the circle in the back is actually fully visible with the dot in the center, and then you get a good shot. I'm actually okay with it, probably because of a lot of first-person shooter games don't do like steel sights right. So I come into it from a video game aspect, and I'm able to acquire the sight picture a little bit easier. Thank you. Good question. I really appreciate that one. Did YouTube update the video, or is it just you? What do you mean update the video? You have to be more specific to me, Brady. Lego's here on time. Kinda. If you had to choose, which of the Munich trio would I carry? Which of the Munich trio? Love from Pakistan. How am I, buddy? You are from Pakistan. From last vlog, you enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much. What would you call? I'm not familiar with the term Munich trio. Sorry. I'm guessing it's going to be, yeah, the P5, P6, and P7. Okay. I am going to have to say that I have the most experience with a. Those are good options. I've shot a P6, or excuse me, a P7. I've shot the P7, and I believe the 229 was a P8 or something. But yeah, no, I'd probably go with the P6 just because it's a little bit more standard. Like in today's time, that gun is still manufactured basically in the 226. So I would probably go with the 226. Second time you're not late. Grant, the SAS is a cool idea, but it doesn't work for all the things that irons and reflex sights work for. The SAS isn't bad. I've shot it out to about 30, 35 yards. And as long as you have good fundamentals, you can actually hit pretty reasonably with it at 30 to 35 yards. Red drink. Also, I got a bottle for it because Daniel and Elise bought me this. But I don't like it as much. But yeah, I'm able to hit pretty easily at 30, 35 yards with an SAS. You like the SAS, but also had to change the FCU for the external slide release and break down lever. Okay, so you wanted to go with a slightly different version. Yeah, I guess you could also just buy the slide and throw it on top of a standard 365 as well. It's probably not too much because I bet a lot of people don't like the SAS, so they'd probably get rid of it if it was a gift or something. You were checking a Springfield Garrison over the weekend. Blued, very nice. I've had them. I like them. They shoot fine. I'm just not a big fan of blued guns. If you look like my Mitchell is stainless. My 226 Elite is stainless. Sorry, my lungs haven't fully recovered. So if I pause, I'm trying to catch my breath. I don't cough. I don't like coughing. So you might hear me make a little. That's about as bad as I go when I cough. Yeah, I do not like to cough. So I do apologize. Yeah, I sold my Garrison though. I actually traded a buddy of mine, my operator, for the Garrison and a bunch of cash, and then I sold the Garrison for a bunch more cash. So when it comes to the Garrison, they're okay. They shoot good, but they're just not, they don't stand out in the crowd. They just kind of, they swim along with the shrimps. You don't think Ocean's here? He may come in later. He does that from time to time. I like how we keep doing a roll call for the mods. They'll be here. They'll be here when they get here. And when they get here, they'll be here. How's that for circular logic? Right, okay. You have the standard SAS and XL because of the compatibility between them. SIG did well with the 365. Yeah, they're not too bad. You feel like the SAS is a solution in search of a problem. You bring up having good fundamentals, like someone with good fundamentals would be able to move their cover garment and draw clear. Yes, exactly. And proud sights that stand up anywhere from an eighth to a quarter of an inch have been around forever. Holsters are designed to work with certain sight setups. Yes, 100%. In my mind, and this is just my thinking, the SAS is actually more apt for shooting from a pocket. So you draw the gun, shoot it while you're pulling it out. So you crank up, shoot the gun, and then draw. So it's like for a purse or a bag or a backpack situation that isn't what you mother fathers are about to think when I said the word backpack. Get over yourselves. That's your brain going there, not mine. And I think that would be there. Who's Brown? What do I know about Standard? Standard Manufacturing, they make some expensive stuff, don't they still? I think they do. I haven't had much of their stuff. Ooh, Scar 15P VPR 556 black, 7.5-inch barrel. It's only $3,300. We should get 7 of them. Why are Ruger 357 and 38 revolvers so inaccurate? That's an interesting statement. My GP 100 is pretty damn accurate. I wish I could. I wish I had an answer for you, my man. I don't have an answer for you. The ones I own are accurate, but the ones I own are older, so maybe newer manufacturing has slightly less quality control, or you're just having bad luck with the ones you're getting, which, seems unlikely, but it could be possible. Stop buying trash. Let's see. You're only buying 1911s. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I'm buying only guns that will fit in my safe for this year. Just purchased a Taurus 992 22 mag combo, 6.5-inch barrel, very heavy trigger. Quality is okay, but not Smith & Wesson level. For $650. Nobody seems to make a lighter trigger spring. Do I know of any? No, I really don't. The 992 is not a real popular model, so it is a little bit harder to find replacement parts for it. Lakeland is the only place that makes like dedicated Taurus stuff, so they might be your only answer. Stainless version. Lucky for me, it wasn't yours. Stop buying trash. Law. What trash? Taurus, Ruger, FN. They're all the same to me. Of course, I say that as I'm holding one of the cheapest lights I've ever had, but it actually feels better than an Olight. It's not an Olight. That bridged very well, segued into it. So a company reached out to me, Chinese company, of course, and they're like, "Hey, man, you want to check out some lights?" And I'm like, "Yeah, send them on." This isn't sponsored. They didn't ask me to put this in a live, but I'm going to talk about it here because why wouldn't we? I'm not even going to put a link to them. I'm just talking about them because when I put up a picture of one of these on my 226, my $1,400 226, everybody lost their shite. They're like, "Why would you do that? The inside of my trash can will see it." I don't know, man. Have you seen the quality on some of this Chinese stuff they're coming out with these days? It feels way nicer than the old airsoft crap we used to get. It has the same kind of, the Surefire quick release on it, or it also the Streamlights has a readout, which is just a gimmick, but it's got a battery readout, shows lumens and then stuff like that. It even has moonlight. So I don't know. They sent it to me. They said, "Hey, you want to put these on your guns and try them out?" The laser is wildly off on this one. This is the light laser combo. You're talking like $130. I'll give it a shot. Why not? It's part of the channel thing, right? Is cheap stuff worth getting? Who knows? But it's rechargeable. I'm going to give them a shot and see if I like them. If I don't, I'll let you guys know in a couple of weeks. But, when somebody sends me something, I'm not going to say no, and I'm not going to take something without doing the video. So we'll see if cheap can work in any sort of situation where it matters. Because what we're going to do is we're going to fire some plus Ps. I've got one mounted on a 45, so I'm going to shoot some plus, some 185 grain semi-wad cutters, which should be booking pretty good. And we'll see how these things hold up under some actual power. If they stay working and the batteries last as long as I hope they do, then we should be good to go. Or the internal battery. We'll see what happens. Let's see what I missed. You like springs. You like turtles. Okay. Don't much about them. Blah, blah, blah. Ocean's here. Told you. Not to be political, but what's my thought on the Trump 45 Glock 19? I haven't seen it. I saw the the Trump 45 1911, but I've never seen the Glock 19. Olight's fine for balling on a budget. Don't expect great quality. Streamlight is your go-to. You got a TLR2. Streamlights are good. Hey, Thundercocker. Yeah, I know. That's why I did the You'd rather buy a pen light from Home Depot before Olight? You're one of them. Take me. No. Nothing at Wolf Springs. Hi, Dave. How you doing today, man? Just kind of going through some stuff here, trying to catch up. I start talking about things, and when I have a lot of people come and go, they come and go. It make it hard for me to read all the comments, but then I read the comments, and they're all of my mods talking to each other. What are you doing there? What's a tunda? So anyway, back to the 300. Not all of you were in here when I was talking about it. So I have that 06 300 sitting upstairs in the driveway. And last few lives you're busy, couldn't attend. That's okay, Dave. Thanks for coming to this one. The last couple of days I've been considering it. I went out and I did start the damn thing before I bought a bunch of parts for it. And the previous owner kinda lied to me. So he said that as soon as he heard the noise, he turned it off. So I started it. I had to jump it. It was dragging pretty bad, which means that he must have overheated it. which is not good because that typically means that the valve seat could fall out, or because it's an aluminum head with a steel insert for the valve spring or the valve, and it could have fallen out and hit the piston and damaged it. But also there was drag when it was trying to start, and then when it did start, it didn't throw a check engine light, so the spark plugs are firing. So it didn't break the tip off the plugs, but the coil packs are firing, so it's not going to set off the light, but you could feel the whole engine doing this. And multiple cam lobes are flattened, which means that engine's more than likely toast. It's going to need a full rebuild. There's probably a lot of metal down in the bottom of the engine, which means it got into the oil pan, which means it got sucked up, and who knows if the crank bearings are any good. And for what I paid for the car, I found somebody that's willing to buy it for what I got into it. And I think I'm just going to let this one go and get a different project because I got lied to about how bad the engine is. I don't have a spare engine laying around, and Hemis, when they're tested good, at least here in Northern Virginia where I am, you're talking 15 to 2 grand. I can just get a higher mileage Charger for like 3 grand and save myself some money. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then probably just get a different project. I really don't want to. The car's in great shape other than that, but I don't have anywhere to put it while I wait for an engine. I needed to get this project in the garage, done, and out in less than like 4 days, and it's just not going to happen. I still haven't completely made up my mind. My buddy's coming to look at it tomorrow. If he buys it, I'll let you guys know, but if he doesn't, then I will go ahead and just rip it apart, but I really don't want to do a full engine rebuild in my garage without the proper tools. Let's see. Bolt doesn't make it. We're still talking about that. How do I feel about 9x18 Makarov versus 9x19? I don't feel differently either way. I don't like that 9x18 is so much more expensive. Makarov ammo is much more expensive than standard freaking 9mm, which is a little bit annoying. Boom, boom, boom. Oklahoma, nice. How you guys doing? Heckin' oof. When we can see some range videos. I'm going tomorrow to do some shooting, some testing. I haven't been doing anything lately because I got sick 2 weeks ago, really sick. And as you can tell, like you're hearing me hitch a little bit. Thank you. When I think about it, thanks for putting it out there. But it makes me cough really bad, and I can't really go out shooting when I'm not feeling good because I didn't want to get sick. Also, I'm going to be on bed rest for the next 2 weeks after tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting. I won't be able to go to the range. So I'm going to try to get like a couple of videos filmed tomorrow at the range, including the PSA Rock 5.7 and the SIG 226 Elite, which I never took to the range. Got a few other guns here, including my other 22 revolver that I'm going to take to the range. I'll probably film like 3 or 5 videos, along with the other videos that are already up in the member section, and some more shorts so that I can cover most of the month. And then all I have to do is sit here. I have basically a bed that I can put next to my desk, and that's going to be my bed rest. I won't be getting out of it until the end of the month. So thank you, whoever's doing all the hearts. Love you too. I don't know how to do it. There we go. You need a 3 grand Charger. Yep. You live closer to the coast here in California, not a bit directly inland, still close. You'd be worried about corrosion or rust buildup. You have firearms in Pelleton. You need to be slightly conscious. Check them from time to time, because if you put them away after cleaning them, you never know what kind of moisture could be in there. If you're using a good oil and a good degreaser or gun scrubber when you're cleaning them, you should be 100% fine, but you just got to make sure. Barely goes into gear, clutch pedal. Okay, I don't know what that story is. Doesn't the Challenger 300 Charger all in the same old Mercedes bodies? Yes, they're based on the old E-Class from 2002. They ran that same design basically up until now. In fact, the Dodge Durango is actually built on the Mercedes ML SUV class. If you're a gun owner, chances are that you're from a part of the country that city slickers would call BFE. What do I think about 25 ACP? I think it's ridiculous. I don't know why people will carry it in 2023. That being said, I had a really fun Colt Junior that I used to shoot at 30 yards, me and my buddies, to see if we could knock down the plate rack when we could hit it, and we couldn't. So at 30 yards, it's basically the same as shooting a pellet gun. You were born and raised in Battlefield, England. That's cool. It's easier to carry a stick than it is to carry a bunch of 25 ACP. Very mentally wearing today. I'm sorry to hear that. I had to go and start my taxes today. That's wearing. I've never done it as a Schedule C before because I was always just a private individual. If you guys want to talk about fun tax, my lady that's doing my taxes, Very nice. Doesn't say much. All right, Kid Brown. PSA came out with their 10mm and 22 dagger. Do you think there's a chance that Glock has a risk of becoming forgotten? You know, Shadow Systems is a thing, but as far as price, daggers take the cake. No, because PSA does not develop fire guns. They do not develop firearms. They are basically just re-engineering clone systems. That being said, the Rock is a departure as it is striker fired, but it's basically just a 5.7 shooting dagger. So they have their dagger set up, and that's fine, but they aren't developing anything that competes with the Gen 5 gun. Additionally, they are the cheaper gun. They are never going to make Glock irrelevant because Glock has the reputation for being extremely reliable. PSA has a reputation for being extremely cheap. There is a big difference. As far as Shadow Systems go, same problem. They aren't developing entire new guns. They're simply taking existing patents that have expired and manufacturing their own guns. Grey Ghost Precision, Lone Wolf Tactical, all these companies, even Bull Armory with their axe, all they were doing was taking an existing fire control unit, an existing trigger system, an existing lockup system, and adapting it with new body panels, basically, in order to create a new gun. But they aren't actually developing these firearms. So they are not manufacturers. In that sense, they're not designers. They're just simply manufacturers. It's as if it's the same thing with Canik. Canik doesn't actually develop a firearm. None of their guns are original to them outside of the wrapper they're in. They're all Walther P99 or PDP licensed guns. They're all designed by Walther, and they just put them in a different wrapper. It's kind of like when you look at the 1910s and 1920s, when you had what are called coach building services. So they would buy a bare frame with an engine and transmission in it and put their own body around it. That's kind of what PSA, Shadow Systems, Lone Wolf, all these companies that are copying Glock are doing. Even to an extent, 1911 builders, they're all copying a design that's been around for 100 years. They haven't actually iterated or enhanced it. And even when you look at Staccato, and God forbid I say anything bad about a company like Staccato, but if you look at Staccato, formerly STI, they took Para Ordnance's design and just ran with it. Staccato doesn't do anything new. Nothing they do is innovative. Nothing they do is original. If you look at original STIs and any of the 45 caliber ones, they all ran Para Ordnance magazines, for Christ's sakes. So again, these companies aren't designers. They're simply builders. Shadow is way overpriced. That's why you get the Foundation series, which is like a $500 gun, so it's the same price as a Glock with similar features. The boss was nice. That I didn't say a word. Sentences the whole day. He's a gruff guy who hates everyone. Him being nice is strange and upsetting. That means you're getting fired, Spot. Shadow Systems is a good route if you're going to take a Glock and modify it. It's cheaper after all said and done. Not as much as you'd think. Their frames are proprietary. Their lockup system is proprietary, so you can't change some of the items in a Shadow Systems like you can in a PSA dagger. Literally all the parts in the PSA dagger outside of the body of the frame itself is Gen 3 Glock. The Shadow Systems have that weird-ass insert in the frame, so like the entire takedown unit and everything is built as one piece with the locking block. So that's actually very different, and it is not as easy as you would think. It's a pain in the ass to modify those, honestly, and you can't just drop the parts from a Shadow System into another frame if you were to, say, damage the Shadow System frame. So you've seen the Night Stalker 2011 popping up. Yep, I have it in the cart through our distributor. As soon as it becomes available, I'm ordering one. Do I have a Platypus 2011? No, I've played with them, but I have not bought one yet. Going into 2024, I have a safe dedicated just for guns to buy this year, and that has a spot on one of the shelves, but I have not ordered one yet. So much RAM! Yeah, that's 64 gigs of DDR3. Quick story, last live stream I had my small computer in there, and when I went to get this one set up, because I have a 4090 coming tomorrow, somehow I was a dumbass and left the CPU power connected while I was bleeding the water system, and I fried the motherboard that was in there. So that's actually an old X79 system from 2012, something like that. But it actually is, it's massively overclocked. That's a high-end enthusiast board, and yeah, it's going to have to do because I don't feel like spending $1,000 on a 14900K. Did you see your last message, Joe? No, I didn't. Please, let's see. Should you use silicone dehumidifier packets? I'm in Virginia. The humidity is not bad here, but yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a silica packet in there just to keep any kind of moisture from coming in there. You mentioned auto rebadges. You know, it used to be real common for school bus manufacturers to take Ford, Chevy, and Dodge chassis and put their own bodies on it. Yep. What map on it? What? Okay, DB's having a conversation I'm not in on. So are you thinking about questions for this live, but you're not, but you're sure you'll think of something? Hey, kid, whatever you throw out there, it's perfectly welcome. This is basically you and I just sitting around just having some fun, drinking stuff. I don't know why I keep opening this stainless jar when I have the original OG red drink. This has become something of a fan favorite around here, at least with DB. But yeah, if you're out of questions, man, feel free to just hang around, listen to me. I can go on. Somebody gets me on a rant, or I do some stupid accent. It'll be good. You got your government replica. Jersey gun politics suck. Yeah, how long did that take? Are you a red drink? I don't know. Can I shake you and have you become more tasty? Or do you get like really still and quiet? This is a good finger workout. With the quick release, just sit here. Want me to wreck my phone's camera with my laser? Should I point my laser at the camera? It's got a green laser, so that's cool. I'm trying to do this backwards over my shoulder. Needless to say, it ain't working well. But yeah, this guy's got a green laser on it. All of a sudden, you see a cat. Root! I'm a cat! That's what cats sound like. Did you know that? I'm a cat! 1 week from buying it and doing the paperwork. Yeah, Maryland is that way. My buddy's up there. I sold him a Beretta, and he was like, we got to go and transfer it. I'm like, dude, I've known you for 15 years. Wink. But he's like, yeah, no, we got to go and do it because it's a week. I'm like, that sucks. You think you can do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression? No. I suck at the Arnold. I never practiced doing, like, celebrity voices. Get to the chopper. See, I always go too deep. Get to the chopper. Yeah. Yeah, I can't do that. Although I do SpongeBob a lot because one of my buddies, go figure, he's a Marine and he likes SpongeBob. But the first time that I did that voice, I literally heard him laughing, cracking up across the store. Because we're sitting there and we're looking at something. I said, not that one. Ah! Ah! My thoughts on a 92 Cheetah. Do you mean the Beretta Cheetah, the 80X? I don't know of a 92 Cheetah. You guys make me look up some of the funnest stuff. 92 Cheetah. Okay, looking at the no. Yeah, the 80, it's overpriced and it's uncomfortable to shoot if you have larger hands. Honest Outlaw did a good video on it, and he showed after just a few rounds, he had actually started getting a really bad case of slide bite, and after like 50 rounds or something, he was actively bleeding and he had like a flap of skin hanging off. So I have no desire to shoot that gun because I also have large hands. His hands are a bit meatier than mine, but yeah, I don't feel like shooting it and hurting my hand. Especially for $800, I have no desire to buy one. Who was your future ex, DB? How young is too young to start a kid training with the 22? As soon as they can start understanding what responsibility and safety is, you can start teaching them. I know people that have 5-year-olds that they teach to shoot, so I wouldn't go much younger than that. Personally, there's no reason really to. But you also need to not hide everything from a 5-year-old. Or from a child until they're 5, you need to let them understand, show them obviously a cleared firearm and say, this is no, you do not touch this. As soon as you start teaching a child things, both good and bad, don't stick your finger in a light socket. Stop petting the dog's butt. Don't stick your finger in an oven. Things like, you know what I mean. As soon as a child is old enough to start learning lessons, life lessons, you should always be introducing those, especially if you're in a house with multiple firearms or you're firearms or hunting enthusiasts, sporting enthusiasts, whatever the case may be. You need to start teaching that child at an earlier age so that by the time they become old enough to use a firearm, they have the proper level of respect. I've seen a lot of youngsters, 5 to 10 years old, they go to the range for youth day, and the first thing they want to do is grab the gun and just start waving it around and pointing it at people because they haven't been taught anything, and the grown-ups are thinking, oh, I'll just let somebody teach them. Safety starts at home. Granted, I have 11 guns sitting on my couch right now, but I also have no midget people that can damage my comm. Mini people. Midget people are a completely different thing. Did you know I'm the world's tallest midget? I am. Bum, 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 bum. Is that the one they use the thirst trap to market it? I have no idea. You have large hands and you have a collection of Colt 25 ACP vest pocket guns and Beretta mouse guns, so you know my pain. How much difference is there between 380 and 22? A lot. A 380 is typically between 75 and 95 grains, so it's also in a it's much larger than a 22, but still smaller than a 9mm. A 22 caliber is .222, and it's a 40 grain bullet. 380 will do a lot more damage than a 22, a lot more damage. So yeah. Am I in Virginia Beach? No, I'm in Northern Virginia, so I'm away from that part of the water. Teach a child how to disassemble. You know what? What good is your kid if he can't reassemble your rifle blindfolded? I mean, I'm going to punish him and leave him in the basement anyways. You might as well fix my guns. See, that's the bad thing to teach one, because you're teaching a kid how to use guns while you're punishing them. Don't do that. Kid you went to school with in 6th grade was back target shooting with a semi-auto 12 gauge when his parents weren't home. His 17-year-old brother came out and told him to stop. Kid tripped on a tree root. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. But that kid should never have had access to the firearm without the parents there. If you take the mystery out of it and teach the gun safety, I'd say 8 years old. Yeah, and again, it's going to be the parents' choice when they start teaching them. But you don't want to vilify a gun to a child. You need to make sure they understand that it's a tool. It's a ballistic tool, but it's a tool. They need to learn the proper handling, the proper safety, and the proper usage for a firearm so that they don't wind up doing what that guy did. Have I ever seen a mag-fed lever gun? I believe there's one right now out. Didn't one just come out at SHOT Show? Yeah, there it is. The POF Tombstone. So that was last year. But the POF Tombstone is a 9mm lever action gun that's mag-fed. Yeah. Tool. I like the tool. Never listen to their crap. Let's see what Peterson Hunting's. Nope, that's old. But yeah, the POF Tombstone. I heard it had a few issues, but they're not too bad. So they've got the Tombstone 9mm 16.5-inch barrel, rails 11 inches. I'll give you $11. You thought I was going to say inches. Yes, that's why I asked. Love weird guns. Yeah, there's not a ton of them, but yeah, they're going to be the Bond Arms is coming out with the AR-15 lever action. That's coming here soon, and that'll be an interesting one too, but it's like $1,250 to $1,500. Everyone was using it for their sci-fi LARP last year. Isn't there a 223 lever that's mag-fed? Yeah, the Bond Arm that's coming. Winchester made one for the Russians back in, you believe, 1942. Yeah, I don't know. That was before my grandfather's time. Otherwise, I'd have a seance with them and ask him, "Dear dead grandfather who worked for Winchester, could you please answer this question for me? Did y'all build a lever-action mag-fed gun for the Germans in for Russians in 42? He's not answering, guys. I don't know what to do. Okay. It's a valid story to pass. It is. You need to teach people stuff. I got to stop working on my sleeves. I keep noticing that every time. It's like, we'll put them down. No, never going to put them up. That's a nervous tick I do. I can't believe I made you a mod, DB. Duty booty tooty. But yeah, it is 100% Like when I take somebody out, now I don't know how you guys take a new shooter shooting to shoot when they shoot the shoots. Your cross dominant shooter, your grandfather's old waterboard, maybe the custom stock for your competition rifle rests on your right shoulder, but warps over to shoot. That's crazy. But when I take somebody new shooting, and we've done that a few times, number one, don't be like TMZ or any of these idiotic morons that want to just make a high view count video and give somebody a Magnum Smith & Wesson Magnum 500 with 6 rounds in it and hope that it doesn't explode in their face when they double fire it. What you have to do, number one, and this is the way I was introduced to shooting, is we started with the 22 revolver, then I shot a Walther P22, then I shot a 38, then I shot a 9mm handgun, then I shot a 45 ACP, and then I shot my buddy's dad's 10mm Delta Elite. So that's how I would start. But you put 1 round in each gun while you're instructing the shooter how to properly hold and properly shoot. You maintain as much control as you can so that they have a safe experience when they first learn to shoot. If you just let somebody go off half-cocked and buck wild, you're going to have a problem. So that's how we would go. And after they prove that they can responsibly hold a firearm, they pull their damn finger out of the trigger guard after they fire the round. They don't turn around immediately with a giddy look on themselves. Wee-hee, I'm using a gun for the first time. You know, things like that. So you're not in danger of being shot by the person you're teaching. Then you can move on. I'm not kicking it, I'm turning it. Shut up. Let's see. What if you shoot somebody new instead of taking somebody new shooting? You know what? The Lord wants what the Lord wants. And I believe that happened to Chris Kyle. We're all a special type of stupid on here. You just saw a YouTube short about the Winchester. It may have had an internal mag that used stripper clips. That's interesting. First gun you ever shot was a High Point CF380. Talk about a disappointment. We're not talking about my buddies. Have I ever had a gun blow up on you? Yes, I had one blow up on me, but Daniel, if he's watching this, his dad had a magnificent one. So we were shooting his Colt Delta Elite, right? And he had really nice ivory grips. This guy only does like 6 or 10 sets a year and made handmade custom ivory grips for his gun. And I think he was shooting Underwood ammo, and Underwood, not Underworld. It wasn't Selena, but he was shooting Underwood ammo out of his Colt Delta Elite. And apparently his is an early one, and it really isn't made for like a plus P type ammo. And he was shooting the Delta Elite, and he lines up for that shot. And as soon as he pulled the trigger, literally the mag shot out because it literally exploded the base pad off the mag, shot the mag out, locked the gun back, and then it cracked his ivory grip. So that was his worst one. Me, I've just had rounds cook off. Like if you're shooting too fast and you overheat like a 22, especially if it's suppressed, you can get a couple of rounds cooking off. I've had that happen. And then I had a round, because this is a lesson I want you guys to know. We were messing with one of my polymer 80 guns, and the slide just wouldn't go back in the battery. And I smacked it and smacked it. And then just kind of looking at it, I went like, pulled it back. And when I pulled it back, it fired. So yeah, that was probably the scariest one I ever had, because there was a little bit of powder on the bill of my hat from the gun and firing. So don't do that. So yeah, a little bit of honesty out there. I've had some negligent shit happen, even to me. But if you were there with me, you'll know that I immediately stopped shooting. I put all my guns down. I didn't touch another gun the rest of the day, because I made a dumbass move that could have cost me my head. So don't ND into your own face, okay, kids? Because that would be the end of fun. Boom, boom, boom. 226 Elite through versus Extreme difference. I believe I've got the Elite. It's double action to single action with a decocker. And let's see, 22 Sig Elite. I'm going to get you exact stuff because I don't know. Extreme is basically a normal 226 lower with an Elite slide and G10 grips. Okay. At this point, the only thing above the Elite... Let's see. Extreme does not have front strap check. Okay, so my Elite has front strap checkering. Apparently, the Elite only has front horizontal. You see? Yeah. Horizontal cuts. They do not have full checkering. So the Elite is actually a much more enhanced gun than the Extreme, which is kind of funny. Ebony and Ivory. You did a trigger job once and may have shaved off too much on a Legion. Nice. Hello, sword maker. I'm trying to read every part of your name in one sentence. Hi. You're don't need to even acknowledge that one. Extreme in paint and grips. Do I have LED lights? LED lights is in around here or this one? Because this is an LED. I have one. Supposedly 800 lumens, but when I turn it on, it only reads 500. Would also help if it wasn't on laser. It's also all upside down, but yeah, it only goes 500 lumens and then it drops to 300 lumens. But this is kind of cool. This thing has a laser, and when you turn on the laser, you get your battery and then a target. Yeah. No, I do not have LED lights like around here. I used to keep LED lights in my cases, but I got rid of that because it was just overpowering. I don't need to have no lights in here. That was an edgy joke about Chris Kyle. Too soon? It's been 10 years. Too soon? Uh-oh, somebody's talking about me. No sneeze. Okay, holy shit, I closed my eyes. 174 people. Y'all must have clicked on the wrong damn thing. How y'all doing there? Y'all coming on here to see me drink some red drink, scratch my nose, and talk like a stupid person? Not a stupid person as in a southern person. I mean, a person with dedicated bad intelligence. Yeah, I would much rather have my elite than my than an extreme. What's my thought on revolvers that are chambered in deer hunting calibers? You think they're pointless? Yeah, when you take like the BFRs, right? You have one that's chambered in 30-30, 45-70, 300 Win Mag. I don't know if they make one in 300 Win Mag yet or not, but I think they're a little bit useless because the barrels aren't really long enough unless you get one of those custom ones with like a 12 or 16-inch barrel. But then you might as well just have the damn revolver, or excuse me, the rifle, not the revolver. So I would just probably say go with what actually works like the rifle. Just carry a 10 mil or a 357 or a 44 Magnum or a 454 Casull. You don't need to have a revolver chambered in 45-70 government. That's just ridiculous. Redonkulous. Where do I live? Usually in a state of depression and denial, but also Northern Virginia. Folks need to hit the like button. If you're new here, hit that damn thing. Even if you're just dipping out, come on in. Just hit that little button over there. You can become all that fun stuff. I believe down there there's a save. There's a share and a like button down there. If you guys want to play around and have some fun, ask some questions, we're here for that. Become a member if you want to do that. Highest quality 1911 manufacturer, Nighthawk Customs. 100%. Don't even need to argue about it. Nighthawk Customs by far makes the best 1911s. I don't care about Cabot. Cabot has a subscription that's like $100,000 a year, so supposedly their guns are better. They also miss some of their targets and in terms of manufacturing. But Cabot is nice, but they are not made to be shot. Nighthawk Customs are made to be shot. They're made to run. They're made to do exactly what they're built for. So if you want the best 1911, you get a Nighthawk Custom. If you want a collectible 1911, you get a Cabot. See the difference there? Play Geometry Dash. I don't know what that is, and I'm on a phone. So even if I was playing it, I couldn't show you. 44 Mag is the biggest revolver you'll go. 454 is pretty good, though. Have I heard of Escape from Tarkov? I have. I don't play many games that require you to be online with other people, mainly because I suffer from extreme nerve damage, and I cannot compete with online battle royales, survival, extraction games or anything like that. CSGO or Counter-Strike 2 was about as much as I did, and I just got killed all the time. So I do not have the reflexes anymore to be able to be a competitive e-gamer. Also, I've had sex, so I don't need to. Hey, yourself. Ben, what's up? How you doing? Thoughts on the 1911 Ronin? I think it's annoying that some of the Ronins have proprietary mags in them, but I've had a Ronin, and it shot pretty well. I think it's fine. It's nothing really fancy to me. It's just a normal one there. And quite frankly, I prefer the interchangeability and the compatibility that comes along with having a standard 1911. But the Ronin is nice. The Emperor Scorpion, the EMP is another one where they can use a proprietary mag depending on which generation of it you have. Like early Emperors, EMPs require specific mags. and it's really stupid. You had a Ronin in your hands yesterday. It's okay. Yeah, it's kind of like when I bought the Springfield Emissary. For those of you that don't know the Emissary has a squared off trigger guard, has the grenade texture on the G10 and the front and rear straps on them. But it has a plastic trigger shoe and it's got a super heavy slide. If you look at that, that's actually a example of height overbore because it has a ton of material over the top of the barrel, which makes it uncomfortable to shoot. So sometimes design takes a back seat to functionality, and functionality takes a back seat to design. And the Springfield Emissary was not one I enjoyed. Had a 10.8 Performance Labs rear sight on it, and it shot fine. But I actually hated that gun after I bought it. I paid like $1,200 for it, and I sold it like a week later for $1,000, which is good because then I can actually sell and recoup some of my money through my taxes. Yeah, Yusef, slow up. I'll get to him when I get to him. There's over 100 people in here. So no, I don't play Fortnite. Like I said, I don't play online games. I don't play online PvP or battle royales because I suck at them. How do you feel about the new HSUN thermal reflex sight for pistols? I think it's a pointless thing to have. I think it's nothing but a gimmick. I think that the guns that they're going to go on to is just going to lead to a bunch of morons on YouTube uploading videos of them shooting in the middle of the night in town because, number one, it's an expensive thermal, but for 95% of us, maybe even more than that, we don't even need lights. So why would we want a thermal optic on our pistol? I'm going to get one. Don't get me wrong, but I have a purpose to it. I need to get one because of what I do for a living. Well, I wouldn't call this a living. Not a single one of you has donated or become a member. Beep. Beep. That's called e-begging, by the way, and I'm not doing that again. That made me puke in my mouth a little bit. Ryan, what's up, dude? I've got your HK Elite sitting over here, your USB 45. I might give it back to Jacob so you can sell it to you. Or not. I haven't decided. I might break it. I haven't thrown it yet that you know of. Woohoo! Have I heard about the single player Tarkov? No, I haven't, but that would be the one that I might play. You're poor. Hi, poor. I'm Joe. You have a Rock Island Armory officer's model in 45 ACP, and it's pretty damn good. Yeah, Rock Island can build a 1911. Now, a lot of them need some tuning right out of the box. Most of mine get all the parkerization removed off the internals, all the coating, they call it parkerization. Well, it is parkerization, but it's pretty shite. So I'll usually remove most of that off of the slides in the inside of the frame and all that stuff to make them a little bit smoother. But yeah, Rock Island knows how to build a 1911, and it shows because they're still consistently one of the best builders, although TSOS in recent years has stepped up their game by quite a lot. However, I'm still seeing more failure rate on TSOS than I am on Rock Island, which is impressive when you consider Rock Island probably builds 10 times the number of 1911s that TSOS does. That Yukon 10 mil that was in the picture where I said 2024 was going to be a good year, it fires 3 times and then it won't go back into battery, and it's not the mag, so I'm trying to figure that one out. Them Filipinos do good work. We talking like just in guns because they make some damn good food too. Oh, love me some Filipino food. Dropped over 100 people. Yeah. What's happening is I have advertisements on, which you guys probably got served an ad when you first popped in here, in order to get YouTube to accept that I can be recommended to feeds. So what happens is a bunch of people might be ending their streams at about the same time. So you got people that are searching through YouTube, and because ads are on and I've got 166,000 subscribers, they're sitting there recommending me to people. And the more I talk about it, let's talk analytics. That won't bore people to freaking death. But yeah, it's recommending me to people's feeds, and then they're coming in and checking it out for a minute. I'm fine with that. It is getting us out there a little bit more, and that makes me feel better. But yeah, when you look at the chats and it's all my mods, yeah. Yeah, Haywood, you scare a lot of people. Hey, TSOS, reset. Man, I just broke my hoodie. I hope you're very happy. I broke it. That's missing teeth. That's missing one tooth. Let's go into this live stream and see what's happening. Oh, what is he doing? He's trying to fix his goddamn sweater, his jacket. It's not going so well. Ah, it ain't gonna work. I can't fix it. This jacket is broken. Never had a live show up on shorts before. What? Eh? What does that mean? Is it being recommended in shorts right now that live is going on? I've never seen that before. Just your random commenter. Me neither. Me neither. Hey, Vsauce, Michael here, but with T-sauce and a Turkish guy instead. I can't do a Turkish accent. You got your T-sauce 1911. You just said you did that. Hey, look at all you guys saying hello to yourself. I'm glad I have a live stream just so people can reconnect with their loved ones. I was thinking about you. I was sitting the other day and I was polishing out my 1911's barrel, and I was using some really nice stainless polish. And man, I was really getting in there, right? The lands, the grooves. I was inside of there using a brass brush. I don't care if they say it's going to destroy the rifle. I get right in there, right? And I start twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting. And I sit there and I ruin that rifle, right? Because that way the U.S. government can't track you. So I ruined the rifling, right? And then when I was done with that, I started polishing the outside, and I took a file and I made it so that the locking lugs were a little bit less locking, so that when you're done with it, right, when you put it back in the gun, it fires so much faster because the locking lugs don't actually interact with the top of the slide, so that when you go to fire it, it just kind of loosely goes. So as soon as it fires, and the odds of it going back in the battery are much, much better because it has a lot less stuff to lock up. Yeah. Modify your guns, kids. The thoughts and opinions of the idiot hosting this channel is not sponsored nor endorsed by the Jimmini Show. In fact, if you do anything that this man suggests you do to your firearms, you're probably going to break it, cause it to explode, hurt yourself, hurt your tax refunds, damage your gas mileage, and also cause your loved ones to cheat on you. So don't do anything this idiot says. The followers are well, stop mentioning it, god damn it. Doesn't matter. What happened to the Mitchell's Mauser? It's sitting in my safe in its box because I shot it and I don't need to shoot it anymore. So it's sitting patiently waiting to do something. I have a 2024 safe and it's sitting in the 2024 safe, and it's going to stay in there until A, I need to use it for a comparison if I get my hands on like an original Gold Cup match, or B, at the end of the year I take it out and decide whether or not I'm going to sell it. So maybe you should like start stockpiling cash, Ryan, because there may be like 100 guns coming your way. Next person that mentions the followers gets timed out. How about that? People don't want to pop in here and see that. Stop talking about it. Or I'll come in there and cuddle you. And I'm the jetpack. Also, when I lean forward, it seems like more people will come in here. Lean back, they go away. Lean forward, maybe he's not quite Korean. Maybe it's Maybelline. You were just scrolling shorts and it popped up in a weird way. There was no comments or likes, just a button on the bottom of the screen that said watch live and brought. Oh, okay. So it mentions my name and then it has the live. So, time myself out. No, don't think so. Don't think so. I will turn this live stream around. I'm going to make the next person that walks in here that's random a mod if you guys keep this up. I'm going to go to McDonald's and get one black coffee. And the horse was in the hospital. But yeah, Ryan, I just don't need to shoot the damn thing. I've got the 16-inch Rough Rider that they put the fiber optic sights on right now, and a Ruger Max that I'm screwing with. Bob Espa, I'm not reading that. If I got caught with weed in Texas and with a firearm, and you barred from buying again, you got denied. They're just misdemeanors. It all depends. Now, that's an interesting question. Is Texas legal? Are you a Texas resident? Are you a Texas resident and you had marijuana in the state of Texas, or are you from another state? I'm trying to see here. Okay, so because marijuana is still criminalized in the state of Texas as of November of 2023, because it was still criminalized, yeah, you got a drug charge. You didn't just get a misdemeanor, you got a misdemeanor drug charge. that is going to cause you to automatically get denied. You are banned until they both legalize it and you apply to get that taken off. You should seek out a lawyer who specializes in 2A and firearms law to see if there's anything you guys can do. But you didn't get charged with a gun and weed, you got charged with drugs. So that is a active drug charge, which flies directly in the face of question 21E, which is, are you an unlawful user or addicted to any federally controlled substance such as marijuana or addictive properties or depressants such as alcohol? Again, are you an unlawful user is the wording of it, not the addicted. Everybody goes, well, I'm not addicted to marijuana. Yeah, if you do a lot of pot, you're addicted. But unlawful user, it's criminalized at the federal level, and many states still criminalize marijuana use. Not as many as they used to, but because they criminalize it, you unfortunately have screwed yourself until you get a lawyer involved and get it expunged from your record. And then you're still going to get hefty delays. You just answered your question. I have no idea. They gave me my guns back, though. Okay, if they gave you your guns back, then you're fine. If you got denied for something else then. So I just went on that whole thing for nothing. When is the car content coming? That car is not going to be in the channel probably because the engine's much worse than the seller told me it was. Mary Jane is federal, Trump's FFL. Doesn't that depend also on what you wrote on the form they give you? It asks if you use drugs or cannabis, and if you said no, then you're lying on a federal document or something, and that's not good. That is 100% correct. Just because you're not addicted to marijuana, if you use marijuana, you technically are lying on a federal document by saying that. So if you get busted with it in the future and you have guns, they can use that as additional charges. But again, they have to prove that you're using it at the time of the arrest or at the time of the purchase. They gave me your guns back, though. The judge himself released the firearms back to me. If the judge released them, you shouldn't have got denied. Then you need to talk to a lawyer because something fishy is going on. You still have a drug charge on your record, but because it was a misdemeanor, he gave you your guns back. But you might have to get a UPIN, which is a unique personal identification number, or something because the way the charges were filed, you still have it on your record. Boohoo, you're out. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Josh. I don't know what he's talking about. Probably a crying. Misdemeanor drug conversion shouldn't have that effect on your NICS check and 4473 after a certain amount of time. Yeah, it does drop off after a certain amount of time, but again, we don't have all the facts here. I'd like to see the actual report and the actual filings. If the judge gave him his guns back, then it shouldn't be still applying. Either he didn't have enough for it to be like an effective drug charge, or they just dropped the charges, but it still shows an arrest with a drug-related misdemeanor, which is what's causing him to get pulled. So when they run your state background, it's showing that you were charged, or that you were found guilty of a drug misdemeanor. So you need to get that expunged. The 4473 question that gets you is the inside city limits one. That's an easy one. The only reason you have to really answer that one is because the ATF needs to know if they're going to come and perform a search warrant or knock down the wall of your house. They need to know whether to call police or sheriffs. That's all that question does. They need to know which law agency they need to contact in order to pursue you. If you don't know, there's also the third choice, which is unknown. So if you don't want to answer it, just click unknown. And I'm not telling you this because you're not buying a gun from me, so I can just tell you what it means. It doesn't matter. If you click unknown, it doesn't matter because we don't enter that into a state background check. You remember reading an ATF opinion that is a current user is someone who used a drug within the last 6 months or has a misdemeanor drug conviction within the last 3 years. You could be wrong. It varies. I'm not sure what the current ruling on it is, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, we had 3 dudes come into our store and one of them got denied, and literally everybody in the store got a contact high, so it was clearly not Delta 9 or Delta 10. That guy was 100% addicted to marijuana, and if a cop had rolled in, it would have been interesting after the denial because then he would have had suspicion. Come to Israel. We love you. I don't travel. I'm a double amputee with nerve damage, and a plane would probably kill me. So unfortunately, I don't. Feds are crazy tonight. Yeah. What are your opinions on binary triggers? Useful tool or flashy gimmick? It's a good question. I have a binary trigger in my main AR-15, and I never use it. It's pretty much just a flashy gimmick. So I have a Franklin Armory binary trigger It's a flat face trigger. It's a 3.5 pound trigger, so it's lighter than mil spec or than the standard trigger, which is anywhere from 5.5 to 7 pounds. So I have that in my AR-15. I shot it a couple of times. It was interesting, but basically I only leave it in there so that when my buddies want to try a binary trigger, we go here. It's not really worth it for anything other than suppressing fire. Israel gun laws are way stricter than gun laws in the U.S. Just for a visit. But does your binary trigger identify as non-binary? No, because right in the name of it, it's a binary trigger. A non-binary is full auto, and I don't have one of those yet. I would like to get one this year. Through the proper channels, of course, because the ATF and the NFA have not been repealed yet. But I do fully intend to get a fully automatic something or other this year. I'm thinking that you can get like early 30s fully automatic 45 ACP machine guns, and they're like $6 to $8 grand. So I'm probably gonna shoot for one of those. Woohoo! Red drink. But yeah. Hey, Lobster. What is up, Mr. Lobster? But yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. I was thinking about a Tech 9 or a Mac 11 or something, but they're still too expensive. Let's see, fully transferable. I have to finish that because some of you might be machine gun. Also, I just watched Bloodshot yesterday. It sucked. Not the comic books at all. Let's see. The Illusion NFA, all transferable machine guns. Oh yeah, that's a good name right there. Let's see. Want to take a guess what Thompsons are selling for? Go for it. Not much, just chilling. All 52 mods here now. Yeah, pretty much. It looks like a Democrat convention on the side over here. It's all blue. Except for Grant, he's like a lobbyist over here. So is Andrew. We're telling them what to do. We're going to tell them who to vote for. This is going to be something that hey, man. You also remember reading that a federal judge in Florida issued either a permanent injunction or a temporary restraining order against the ATF in the FRT case. Appears forged reset triggers are okay right now. There is an injunction in place, however, I believe, let me double check. I thought sales were still on hold. FRT, you're just wanting me to do this stuff, but I got news for you. I'm in incognito mode. You want to see my web history? Tough shit, you can't. U.S. judge limits enforcement. Let's see. As of October 9th, a federal judge in Texas has sharply limited the Biden administration's ability to enforce a ban on forced reset triggers aftermarket accessories that allow AR-15 type rifles to be fired more rapidly by automatically returning the trigger to its starting position or after it's pulled. So that was the Texas one. That's the most prevalent one that comes up. Let's see. U.S. judge bans. Well, that's fun. Make it a rapid, falsely told customers. Blah blah blah. Are they illegal machine guns? No, because they have to be installed improperly before they become automatic firearms. I'm an automatic. Is it Friday? Why the hell are you in here, Coon? Coon. K-U-H-N. Coon. Coon. That's why I say your name that way. Coon. Don't fucking clip this. I'll get pissed. I don't care. I'm not going to freaking apologize for swearing. Let's see. Something in 308 would be fun and full auto. Yeah, but that would be expensive as hell. Here's my paycheck. I have to go get another paycheck. Have you ever outfired your AR, meaning you hit the trigger faster than your AR could chamber around, causing it to jam? Yeah, I've actually, not me personally, but my buddy Sam outran the binary, and he was able to lock it up. Should you keep carrying? They gave it back, so you're good to go. Is Texas allowing me, but the federal government is not? All right. I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you exactly what to do, but if a judge in the state of Texas gave you your guns back, he said that the guns that you currently own are legally yours, and Texas is a constitutional carry state, you do you. But I would consult an attorney if you want to know for sure. You really should get somebody involved on this. It may cost you a little bit of money, but right now you're kind of sitting in between the whole is it legal, is it not thing. You really need to get in touch with a lawyer that can tell you exactly what's going on. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the laws in the state of Texas outside of the standard FFL stuff. And I am not here to advise you on whether or not you should be doing something like that. The fact that they gave you your guns back is a good thing. They did not hold your guns. They did not put them into receivership. They did not lock them away under any sort of red flag or any kind of bullshit laws. ATF did not come and confiscate your weapons. That's a good thing. But get law on your side, Even if you hate the law and you hate lawyers, pay somebody to handle that shit, because right now you're asking questions. Let's get them answers, man. Get the answers. Get it done. Get your shit in order, and then you can carry if you're told you can. I don't know what Obama has to do with anything. He's an idiot. Do you think we can get a ruling to make suppressors no different from any other accessory? It's dumb now. The media has made people think they're silent, but it's safety equipment, especially for home. They are not a safety equipment. They are simply an accessory, a firearms accessory. And yes, it should be a lifted ban on them. However, those exist under a NFA Act from 1963, and it is bullcrap because it does not apply to modern day. I've talked about it before. That's the reason why a tax stamp for a suppressor is only $200. When the NFA Act was introduced, which made controlled items under Class 3, the cost of a suppressor or silencer, the correct term is either, silencer is actually what it's patented under, a silencer cost between $2 to $5 when the NFA Act was put into place. So they made a $200 tax stamp because they didn't want to just flat out say, because it's not our modern ATF, they didn't just want to say, we don't want you to have them, they're banned. No, they made them prohibitively expensive, 100 times the cost of the item, in order to prevent people from being able to afford them. Now in modern day, because it was a legacy, whoever wrote the law or somebody was on our side in there. It's kind of like when the German captured a manufacturing facility and they put dummy rounds. Because they made it a legacy tax, it cannot be increased. If the ATF had their way, it would be $50,000 for a suppressor tax stamp. But because they done goofed up, they no longer have full control over that. So, but I still think it needs to be repealed, because we use them for much more sporting, hunting, hog hunting, things like that. You go hunting with full loud firearms in the middle of the night, you scare them all off, kind of defeats the purpose. So yeah, I agree it should be repealed, but it's until the ATF gets out, we're stuck with them. You're clearing a couple guns and need background noise. Oh, cool, Ryan. Yeah. I still got your HK. And be sure to get a doormat that says, are those level 4 plates? Abolish the ATF. Yes, definitely. I don't see why they would give them back and set me up for failure. But anyways, thanks, guy. You come to you guys here because what a good. That's the point, dude. And like I said, you got to get a lawyer involved, especially in your local municipality. Suppressors in Europe are considered being hearing safety equipment. I think some places require use of suppressors for hunting. I guess. I never really followed outside of the United States because I don't care. Stigma lives in Southwest Virginia. Used gun prices at gun stores and pawn shops are just a little lower than full retail. Is that the same where you are? No. Typically up here in Northern Virginia, like a used gun will be around $100 to $125 cheaper than a new gun, except in cases where the gun is rare or hard to get, or unfortunately sometimes like a Glock 19 will run close to retail regardless of what you do with it. But around here, they're typically anywhere from $100 to $150 under for a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. An M&P 2.0, yeah. Those guns, Canics, typically, $300, so they're about $100 under new cost. There was a guy in Appleton, Wisconsin that went up to a cop at a traffic stop and asked him, you wearing level 4 plates? He said, you'll find out. Went home, fired rounds off, and caused SWAT to come out. You've got a lot of unfortunate knowledge, my man. Great answers. You seem very knowledgeable. I try to understand what's going on before I speak, and I try to think about what I'm going to say before I speak. Say hi to Buddy for me. Hey, Buddy. How you doing, buddy? Also, Rue, who's at the door? Who's at the door, Rue? Rue. At the gun shows, they're insane. No more deals. No, that is true. My buddy Ryan, who's in the chat here, and my other buddy Jacob, they go to the gun shows in Chantilly, which is in Northern Virginia, and he said those prices are just ridiculous. Look, Daniel, I'm using the bottle. I don't. It's got small hold, though. Wasn't really unfortunate since the situation was resolved without any casual. Yeah, well, that should be. No more ammo deals at shows. Yeah, no more ammo deals at flea markets either. We used to be able to find, boxes of 9 for like $8 at the flea markets, and those are all gone now. This bottle have bigger hole. I can drink more red drink. Way ahead of you, Dan. I don't know why I called you Dan. Haywood. I called you Dan. Dumbasses need to stop doing internet memes, IRL, idiots causing unnecessary drama. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, you're so smart. Can I talk about Max PSA's new upcoming STG-44 revival and what do I think? It's pretty hot topic and exciting in the gun community. It's one of those guns that everybody wants until they shoot one. And especially since we don't get a full auto one, that we're going to shoot it and we're going to go, huh, it's a rifle. Cool. And then it's going to fade from everybody. Now, there are the people that want an STG-44 for their collection, things like that, and they're going to buy it and they're going to endure it and enjoy it. But the majority of us, like me, I don't care. I'll pick one up just to play with one and see how it feels. But that gun does literally nothing for me. So they are spending a lot of developmental dollars on bringing back a firearm that 14 people are going to buy and the rest of us are going to go, huh, cool. I wonder what's on Netflix. Although Netflix sucks. Although Amazon sucks too. Did you guys get the notice this morning? $3 more if you want to get it ad-free. Thankfully, I'm disabled, so I already get a discount. Hello, Amazon. I love you so much. All right. You do feel that anyone firing rounds off into the air is a dumbass and should face legal trouble for it. Don't do stupid things with guns. Stupid hurts. Yep. Am I going to get it? Now, I won't buy one, but I will definitely do a review on one. Looked at a Kimber aluminum frame 1911. Is the recoil significantly more? Bill, good question. No. I had the Kimber lightweight Arctic, and it has the aluminum frame, and honestly, I noticed very little difference. You're talking about a gun that is still weighs well over 30 ounces versus a standard steel gun, which weighs about 40 ounces. So the difference is not as much as you would think. Now, if you're firing like a single round at a time out of the magazine, you don't have a fully loaded mag, yeah, you can feel a little bit of difference. But overall, I will say that the shooting was basically identical to me. I did not notice much of a difference, mainly because the dust cover doesn't go that far forward. So in terms of perceived recoil from there, if you have a good grip on the gun, the recoil is not going to be any different because the weight of the slide, the weight of the springs, all that is unchanged from a aluminum to a steel frame. I did not notice a single difference. I shot them both equally well, or equally poor, or equally off. Whatever. They equal. It's been pondered and people have been waiting for years. Yeah. 3D printed guns were initially used in the Myanmar Civil War, but I think the rebels now mostly use captured army small arms or smuggled from abroad. Probably. Still thinking you like full steel handguns. I don't mind aluminum framed or aluminium for all my friends that are not in the United States and like to say things the wrong way. I prefer a full steel frame gun, but aluminum is just as usable to me. I like some of the Berettas that have aluminium frames, and I like some of the all of a sudden my brain stopped. I'm trying to think of another manufacturer with an aluminium frame. I think some of the Jerichos were an alloy frame at one point. Efforts to ban 3D printing of firearms have led to the meme phrase, can't stop the Sigma in the firearms 3D printing community. You know so much fun stuff. Interesting information. With the success of the TSOS 1911s and Bursa entering the 1911 market, will Rock Island Armory 1911s fade from the market? No. Here's the reason why, and I've said it before. Rock Island, number one, they build more guns than anybody. They also make more guns for more manufacturers than any other 1911 manufacturer. TSOS has TSOS and their upcoming Military Armament Corporation. So those are the two companies that TSOS is running. Rock Island has Rock Island, Citadel, Taylor and Company, Ivor Johnson, a couple, I think I said Citadel, and a couple others that they manufacture firearms. And they are by far the largest manufacturer. Their base entry guns are not that much different in price than a TSOS. And believe it or not, if you're talking TSOS to a Rock Island, TSOS has less of a reputation than Rock Island. I would actually personally, even though the TSOS is a full forged frame and for no MIM parts, I personally will take a Rock Island over a TSOS in the exact same gun. So like my TAC-2 Ultra, TSOS doesn't make a full dust cover railgun. Rock Island has an entire line of them. Also, the Rock Island match level guns, the performance guns, are way better than the TSOS guns. The TSOS guns are extremely good value and you get an extremely good starting point, but Rock Island has perfected what they do over time. Yeah, they still have problems. Anything that's manufactured by man can have manufacturing problems, but they are by far the superior handgun. They're just also in the shadow a little bit because they aren't coming out with all the same new models that TSOS is. So keep that in mind as you're looking. You love your plain Jane TSOS Army model, your first handgun, you fell in love with it. That's awesome. You have a touch of the TISM. Cool. I eat TISM for breakfast. I also have a TISM. I can't eat with anything but a teaspoon. They've gone off to PSR tuber so many times for 3D printed guns and lost every time. Yeah, but if you look at what they've done to PSR, he's no longer verified. He has an artist moniker, his icon next to his name. He's not verified anymore by YouTube. It's just under artist, and he can't go under print, shoot, repeat because of that. And anytime he does anything, I'm sure they demonetize it, and he has to fight the shite out of them. RIA, which you recommend the TAC-2 Ultra? Yes, because my 9mm 22 TCM is the TAC-2 Ultra, and the thing shoots like a dream. I did some polishing to it, and the thing runs like a beauty. Next person that mentions how many people were in here gets timed out. Let's see. What are the actual differences between the TSOS 1911 and the original? Well, it all depends. Hello, monkey. It depends on which version. If you're looking at their version of a GI, okay, that's a misnomer. A lot of current 1911s are based on the A1 platform. You don't see anybody manufacturing an original one. Original 1911s, if you look at the trigger guard, they don't have a cut leading into it. They added that in the A1 in order to allow small frame people to use the guns. Also, the rear main spring housing is flat on an original 1911. It's raised on the A1. The ejection ports are lowered and flared on an A1. They're standard small itty bitty CZ75 looking things on a standard gun. So those are the major differences, but most people don't know that difference. So when you're looking at them side by side, like I have a auto ordnance GI over there that is based on the A1, has the smaller ejection port, but somebody drilled the shit out of the slide. You identify as God. Great. What is my favorite food? Korean food. I love one. The guy who made the Minecraft Zombie IRL movie last passed away. That sucks. True, you meant the A1. What is my favorite food? Okay, cool. Great. Chase, Korean food. Yeah, don't spam or you get timed out. What kind of PC? This is a temporary placeholder. I fried my actual PC by leaving the CPU power plugged in while bleeding the system. So looks like people are getting timed out. That does happen. Don't come in thinking you can be offensive. I've got 5 mods in here that are watching the comments, so keep that in mind. But that is just an old X79 with a 980 in it because I fried my regular rig and I'm waiting for parts to show up tomorrow. Let's see. Ever seen a Glock 34 or 17L? The rail below the slide is part of the dust cover that protects the recoil spring from dust and debris. The dust cover on the G34 doesn't extend all the way. That is true. Would I recommend for your first 1911 TSOS? Goodbye, Kingston. TSOS if you want a full frame gun or a full forged gun with no MIM parts. Rock Island if you want one that you can just pick up and shoot the shite out of. Rock Island makes good guns, so make sure you do that. How bad are Series 80 1911 over Series 70? It adds 4 parts to the trigger, 3 to 4 parts depending on which version you want. Colt has a 3-part Series 80, where I believe the rest of the market has a 4-part Series 80. And when you pull the trigger, it also activates a secondary bar, kind of like when you have a mag disconnect. So when you're pulling back, the bow interacts with the Series 80 trigger mechanism, which has to push up to release the firing pin safety. Here's a secret for you. If you just take all that shite out and put a standard firing pin in it, you can actually run it without having a problem. It just eliminates a little bit of the pure trigger feel, but it's not terrible. Hunter, hello. Let's see. Fish clips. Hello. Referred to by CP. I have no idea. What is he talking about? If he gets crazy. Jimmini, tell us fools what CP is. I have no idea what he's talking about. So what about a daily carrier? I use a 1911 in a inside the waistband holster. The extended barrel P08 better than a standard model? That just depends on how you shoot. If you feel like carrying one, that is up to you whether or not you want the long slide. I carry a 5-inch 1911. I prefer longer slide guns. Not sure. SR 1911 Series 70, so no worries. Yeah, my para ordnance, Canadian para ordnance, the one that came from Canada as a kit that you have to build, that one has a Series 80 internal. My Mitchell's is a Series 70. The shitey car that I recently got, or the auto ordnance, that one is a Series 80 internal, so it actually has the firing pin block. I'm going to remove that and see how well it functions. Will the BRG-9 Elite or the Ermox Defense X-Fire make it into the U.S. market? I believe the BRG-9 is here already, right? Hello, Reyna. Welcome back. I believe the BRG-9. Didn't it come in and leave? A lot of manufacturers do that. BRG-9 pistol. As for the Ermox Defense, it's not really that impressive. And I believe the BRG-9, that is an American-made #1. Well, it's imported, excuse me. It's imported by Buffalo Cartridge Company. I actually did a video on it. That's how little I remember some of these guns I do. The BRG came in. It's an XD Elite clone. And now that XDM is gone, or the XD line is gone, I think they're still making it, but it's basically dead. Now that they're gone, they're going to go away. They were a much more affordable version of the XD lineup, and since the XD lineup is now discontinued, they've all dropped in price, which means that they're all going to drop in terms of there's no point to have the BRG. You have a question. Reyna, ask your question. Is the Browning High Power a better firearm than the A1, or was it a different role? The Browning High Power is what John Moses Browning wanted the 1911 to be from the beginning. When John Moses Browning was designing the 1911, it did not have a grip safety. He always wanted it to be in a smaller caliber with a double stack magazine. So after he got done developing the Colt 1911, or the 1911 with Colt for the U.S. military, he went on to design the High Power. Now, the High Power is what he considered a 1911 improved. Personally, I think the 1911 has the best trigger, so in my opinion, it's a better gun, but a lot of people will argue that the Browning High Power, because it was a double stack in the 30s, it was 9mm, it was a little bit simpler since it didn't have a removable bushing. It just literally had a drop-in barrel with a spring that held it in place. A lot of people would say that in terms of maintenance, functionality, etc., it was a more superior handgun. I still believe that the 1911 is better. That's why the 1911 has never had a resurgence. It's always just been, whereas the High Power went into the 80s and then kind of come back down, and then all of a sudden when the last company FN killed it, and then everybody started talking about coming back out with it, it went back up. And then Gerson came out with the MCP 35, which was an amazing recreation of it, and it caused it to come back up. So if you have a gun that does this throughout time, it's not as good as a gun that does this in terms of popularity. So that's what I say. You're the Joker. Good for you. What kind of PC do I have? This is just a cheap one that I threw together to get me through while I'm replacing it, because my other one blew up. Just an old X79, 64 gigs of RAM, water cooled, all that easy stuff anybody can do if they have $700 in parts. Safariland doesn't make a level 2 holster for CG75 SP01. Who should check on not having any luck? Not sure. I have an SP01, but I don't use anything other than a standard leather holster for it. So I don't know what to tell you there. P365 question mark? It's good. It's decent. If you want a good concealable handgun, it's the resurged the Micro 9 market, so it's definitely worth a look. Talk about Glocks. No, thank you. It was a fun, great live. Ronnie, thank you, dude. I'm not going anywhere. Good Monday evening. Can I ask a question between the Ruger Mark IV or Browning Buck Mark or Smith & Wesson Victory? Your wife is wanting a plinker, but a good one. I would go with the Ruger Mark IV. The Smith & Wesson Victory is nice, but that's more target-oriented, like competition-oriented, and the Browning Buck Mark is just expensive, and it's no better than a Ruger. Also, the Ruger Mark IV is easier to clean. Springfield didn't yeah, like you said, it's just they're available, but they're not the gun from Springfield anymore, and they will discontinue them probably at the end of 2024. 1911, good. You don't like the 2011, however. To each their own. I like the thinness of the 1911, but I enjoy the capacity of a 2011. You would add to chat, but you're watching the chat. Yeah, I get it. Glock, 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 Glock. It sounds like you're doing something dirty there, Haywood. Shh. I left your question. You're going to have to put it back in. We jumped up into the 300 range, so all of a sudden I couldn't see all the messages. If Wesley keeps on being a dip, go ahead and just remove him. Hide user from channel is what a ban is. Rana was asking something about chrome barrels. Let me see if I can find it real quick. What is a chrome in barrel, especially when asked like Chinese AK have chrome barrel? What is meaning chrome barrel, like a liquid or what? No, chrome is a harder metal than just standard steel. So when you have a chrome vanadium barrel or chrome line barrel, it's a harder material so that the rifling is less likely to wear out as quickly as if you just rifle. So good question, Raina. It's not going to deform the rifling, the lands and the grooves in the barrel as quickly. And typically you can cut them a little bit deeper because the material is more resistant to damage. Thank you for your question. It was a good question. Yep. XD series has a surprising high amount of aftermarket support. Yeah, well, no, it was fun. He gone. Well, if Raina comes back, let me know. Or are you talking about Wesley? Yeah. Alistor, hello, good sir. Welcome back. I think you were here before. I sometimes remember names. I sometimes don't. Sometimes I don't know who I am. Who am I? Red drink time. Oh, nice little break here for a minute. This is the most we've ever had. And yes, I can talk about the number of people in here because it's my damn live. But talking nonstop, holy crap, I need to break it down a little bit. If I don't get to your question, repost it once. If I do get to your question, great. If I don't and you want to make sure I get it, you're going to have to super chat it because I just watched 11 quotes go through. Woohoo, red drink. Are gun manufacturers working with ammo producers to eliminate the 40? It seems like 9mm, 45, and even 380 ACP were featured at SHOT Show. Now 40 releases are almost nil. No, 40 has limited use in 2024. You have high-powered 9, and you have much more 10mm support. So the fact that 10mm became so popular again in 2022, 2023 has kind of taken a lot of the oomph away from 40 cal, which makes sense because 10mm was the parent of 40 cal anyways. 10mm was first, 40 cal came out because people were pussies and couldn't handle 10mm. So yeah, 40 cal, it's not between manufacturers and ammo makers to eliminate a cartridge, it's the buying public. 7% of U.S. vehicles currently under manufacture are manual transmissions. It's not the manufacturers that decided they don't want to make manual transmission cars. It's you, the consumer, who has told the manufacturers, look, if you build 1,000 manual transmission cars and 1,000 automatic cars, you're going to sell the 1,000 automatic cars before you sell 100 manual cars. It's the same thing with 40 cal. The people that buy 40 cal don't understand what 40 cal is and its purpose. The people that do understand 40 cal know that they can get a much cheaper round in a 9 or a much more powerful round in a 10. So 40 cal is killing itself because consumers don't care about it. It's a dead round to me because I have 5, 6 guns that shoot it, but I don't care to shoot it. It does nothing for me. 9mm and 45 are just as good to me. Ah! I said just as good. You're going back to your phone, and the other day is going back up. I don't get what's going on. I missed something. 1911 was the best year, in your opinion? Yeah. Only had depression, market crashes, leading into a world war, people coming back not having jobs. No, 2024 is the best year so far. Anybody that tells you they want to live in the past is freaking psychotic. Woo! Look at all you people getting banned. 600 seconds, a 10-minute timeout. He must have said something really bad. Barrels can be sleeved. Yep, that's true too. You're going back. Anyways, 40's dead. Nope, they don't call it 40 short and weak for nothing. Slow and weak. Stupid and wussy. The funny part about this is most 10mm loads are watered down to 40. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. 1911 looks better and is overall more reliable than any 2011s you've ever owned and or seen. Yeah, 2011s are a race gun. They're a competition style gun. They were never designed to be duty guns. Staccato has called their gun a duty gun, but it's strictly a pure race gun that can be carried for duty. Yeah, shut up, Staccato. You're just trying to market to a different brand. By calling it a duty weapon, it actually enables it to be selected by law enforcement and military types. So, yeah, if I were to call this a duty red drink, then it could be sold to U.S. law enforcement. Have a good night. Got to feed the livestock. Good talking to you. In self-defense cases, you've heard that using hollow points has been used against people, but I think it'd be better for collateral damage. Here's the thing, Andrew. In a self-defense shooting, there's not one individual thing that's used to determine whether or not somebody's going to be prosecuted. It's the entire case. Now, a lot of people who think that YouTube is the end-all be-all of everything they should be doing in terms of what they should do, because you have all these armchair quarterbacks that tell you what, never talk to police and shit like that. Your comportment, how you comport yourself to the police, number one. How they find the scene, number two. The equipment you used is way down the list. Witnesses, cameras, everything else in the area will be considered before they go to the pedantic level of looking at your ammunition. Yes, sometimes a prosecutor will sink as low as to use the ammunition because they are struggling to find a good reason to charge somebody for a manslaughter case. However, hollow points do help not eliminate, but reduce the chance of overpenetration of a target and going into somebody behind you, a wall, a house, etc. If you carry the exact same ammunition as the police, sometimes that can be construed as you're trying to become a law enforcement agent. Some places actually ban the use of hollow points outside of the home. Ocean Dude will tell you you can't use hollow points in Jersey. And it's everything together is going to determine what they use against you. Now, if you're a straight up dude with a clean shoot and you actually cooperate and then get a lawyer like you're supposed to, cooperate is first, lawyer is second, not lawyer first, cooperation second. You have to cooperate. Don't argue with the police. Don't fight with the police. If you're involved in a self-defense shooting, this is from multiple sources, not just watching one person on YouTube who wears a hat with a flat bill that's turned backwards and while looking into the sun and doing this. No. If you're involved in a shooting, you secure the area, you wait for the police to show up, you inform them very curtly, not curtly, but very, not forcefully either, but you have to say it with an air of confidence. I fully intend to cooperate. I was defending myself and I had to shoot him. I will cooperate, but I need a lawyer. You can't just clam up. That could lead to days, weeks, months, years in jail. So don't do that shite. There are SWAT teams that run 2011s. Well, yeah, Staccato is probably one of the most reliable 2011s, but again, they turned from a custom building gun manufacturer with the Edge and the Eagles and all the other ones they built to a mass manufacturing, and then they did improve quality because they got the money for it. 1990s was the best decade to grow up. I grew up in the 1990s, and I vehemently don't have an argument for you. Evening. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. We're doing okay. Nobody likes to be overpenetrated. That's not true. I know a couple of fun partners of mine. Anyways, feel the insinuating rounds are really just for the range. I feel like you use them on a real target in real life and self-defense issue, you definitely get a lot more time. Insinuating rounds are really just for the range. Yeah. Again, it all depends. If you're talking incendiary, yeah, you don't use incendiary in a self-defense shooting. People that do that also have skull and crossbones on their striker plates and look here, wait for flash on the front of their goddamn 1911s. How do I like Sig Sauer's and Pros? I don't understand the question 100%. I like Sig Sauer. I have a bunch of them, but the Pros, I don't understand what you're asking. Definitely you deal with it in court and let the cops do what they need to willingly. Yeah. Have you seen that 12 gauge brass hollow point? Holy crap, that round is mean looking. So it's shaped like a slug, I'm guessing? No. Whoever made that 12 gauge needs to put the bear down. Put the beer down. You take that thing out of your mouth and you shush. I know you're 13, so I'm trying to be polite about it. This is America. We built 10,000-pound monster trucks for fun. What's my opinion on H&R 32 Magnum? Never shot one, so I don't have one. It's a weird round. I've been asked for it a lot, but no, I've never actually shot one. It's an older round back in the day when literally every gun had its own round, but I've never actually shot one. Hello, Daniel. I know you're here. That's why I'm censoring myself. I don't want people to understand that. The Sigasaur, yeah, but it was taken down sometimes by the T-Sasatops. Glock is cheap, though. Where? For what it is? No, it is not. $500 for a standard polymer gun with no optics cut and no threaded barrel? No, Glock is not cheap. Sounds like Tandermouse or whoever he spells it. I don't know. Taufledermaus? Taufledermaus. Recently overheard a local gun store. The only good thing that came out of Turkey is Canik. Do I agree? That was the first thing that put Turkey back on the that put them back on the map. Canik did definitely save Turkish manufacturing for import into the U.S., but TSOS and Gerson are both Turkish companies. I like them. And Rock Island actually enhanced Turkey by bringing in their shotguns in the form of the VR80, VR60, and then the VRBP 100, which all of like the Tokarev TX12s are based off of. Thoughts on M&P 2.0? They're good guns. They're cheaper. I prefer the 1.0 because it's got a beaver tail, but I prefer the 2.0 because it has the metal inside of the frame, which gives it a little bit more structural rigidity in the front, which does aid in side-to-side motion of your slide. So if you can get one that's a 2.0, I would recommend that. Glock is cheap if you consider $500 to be cheap. When somebody talks about a cheap gun, they usually think of something like Taurus. Yeah. Now cheaply built, 100%. 1911 is like $9,000. Nope. You can get fully capable 19, at least here in the United States, you can get 1911s cheaper than Glocks that run out circles around them. You like turkey with mashed taters and gravies. You got to be careful because if you have too much turkey, you want it with that tryptolene poisoning, and then you fall asleep, and then somebody does something naughty to your naughty bitch. Speaking of Canik, what's a good dot for the Meta SFT? HSUN is a decent choice, just all in all, a good choice. I believe that one is RMR cut for the base, so a Vortex, which is the one that doesn't need a lockdown in the back. One of the Vortex, an SRO would be a good choice, but that's a little extreme for an SFT. I would go with like a HSUN 507 C, which is the larger one. That would be my choice because you get the 64 mil dot or circle and then the 6 mil dot, or you can just get the 2 mil dot when you turn off the circle. I would go with HSUN. What's my favorite carry? 1911s. How you doing, Wesley? 1911s are my favorite carry. I enjoy them. They're thin. They fit in your pocket. I can shoot them extremely well from 7 to 10 yards. So 1911s. No problem, Carl. Opinion on M4A1 Block 1 clone as a primary rifle. I don't know who the Block 1 clone is, but if you have an M4 and it's a decent build, absolutely. 10 gauge or 12 gauge, or if I'm a wuss 30-30. Well, I don't shoot shotguns, so I have to go 30-30 by default, but I'd go 12 gauge if I'm shooting regular shotguns. Best open emitter CCW dot EPS carry with a 6 MOA dot would be the best closed emitter. Yeah. Okay, yes, excuse me, K. C is the compact, K. And then they do now have the 507 competition, which has a slightly different design to it. You might want to look at those. Have I seen the Halo Sun weapon lights? No, I have not. Probably already covered it, but what do I think about the VA house passing HB2 and what reaction do you think people will have? It's going to be the same thing that happened back before Youngkin came in when we had Numbnuts, whatever his name was, Nordquist or Numbnuts. It's not going to pass Senate and then it'll get vetoed by Youngkin. Youngkin says that it doesn't need to exist, so that means he's going to veto it. This is just another attempt by a overreacting House because their wording of the HB2 bill. For those of you that don't know, Virginia's House recently passed at 51 to 48 VA HB2, which is banning all center fire assault style rifles and pistols beginning that have a manufacture date after July 1st, 2024. They want to ban every AR, AK pistol, AR pistol, anything like that, because if it's a center fire and it has a high capacity ammunition feeding device. They don't want to say a magazine anymore because then people understand that. So yeah, they're bullshit wording. It passed House, but it will not pass Senate. If it passed Senate, Youngkin is going to veto it. And if he doesn't veto it, he needs to go away. What's the deal with custom 1911s jamming? Custom 1911s run into an issue with jamming because of their fitment. So if you look at Wilson Combat, Nighthawk Custom, Ed Brown, Les Bear, Ed Brown, companies like that, they actually mill the slide and the frame from a single piece of billet so that they can adjust them down to the thousandth of an inch, right? So then you get that, and then you put your shit $12 45 ACP ammo in it, and you wonder why it's jamming because the nose is not consistently shaped. It's not a high polished brass, things like that. But it's an over tight tolerance, and that's why on all my 1911s, I never did it to like a Nighthawk because I don't own one, but I would never not tune a custom 1911. So they're too tight. It's the same reason why ARs have more jams than AKs. ARs are more precision fit than an AK. It's an old saying. AK rattle mean reliable. But wish we could show memes. You have so many funny gun memes. Yeah, that's not this kind of channel. I'm not a meme channel. I'm not a react channel. Even if you could show memes, I don't think I'd allow it. I'm not Brandon Herrera. I actually have other opinions than communism good, freedom good, communist freedom good. I like commie. That's Brandon Herrera in 4 sentences. Would it be easier to just run 3.5-inch 12 gauge shell than to run a 10 gauge? Oh, yeah. Okay, you're answering other people. What's my favorite brand? I don't have a favorite brand right now. Yeah, no arguing with people. Dude, I own a We the People 1911 SIG. Thoughts? That's cool. The We the People, that's just like a Talo edition or a custom edition that was done. It's just a standard SIG 1911. They're good guns. They run. Yes. Okay, so I was right. The C is the one that has the larger footprint. Look, guys, my brain doesn't work and I don't use optics. So MagTech 9 and 45 on sale this week. That's decent stuff. Too tight sometimes a gun too. I already said that, no problem. It would still put the 407 sights on larger guns since they offer better sized dots, blah, blah, blah. You love Brandon and you destroyed him. Look, he's interesting to watch if you want a technical perspective. He used to do a lot more technical breakdowns and show you exactly how things work, but he's turned into a reaction and a meme lord. And that's what they've all become. And it's something I don't aspire to. Right now, if you take Brandon Herrera and you turn him sideways, he disappears because he has one angle to him. Brandon Herrera, the rest of the world. Brandon Herrera, the rest of the world. He does not have 2 dimensions to him anymore because he's catering to YouTube because it pays him a lot more than his main manufacturing company does. And he moved to Texas because he wants to be closer to his girlfriends. I don't use remanufactured ammo, so I don't know. Just remember me. I love your channels. Just remember me when you blow up and you mentioned you on your channel. Okay, dude, just wanted you. Okay. All right, War Gaming. All prayers to you, PS. I'm the Glock guy you banned before and you're back. Yeah, well, I didn't ban you. One of my mods did, and they only do that if you go crazy. Every gun tuber that has 1 million plus subscribers or 2 million plus subscribers has sold out. You know why? YouTube is no longer a place for just videos. I do them. I don't care. I get $700 to $1,000 a month. Woohoo! They're called royalties. Woohoo! I don't give a shit because I'm not using it to make a living off of. Now, I would love to get enough money to be comfortable doing it and that you guys would pay for my guns, but I'm not like them clowns that sit there and blow up their guns because it makes them money. Tragic situation, Kentucky Ballistics, almost dies. Great. He survives. Awesome. He's a good dude. Nobody deserves to go out like that. But then he starts monetizing blowing up his guns. Okay, then he does that. Well, Demo Ranch. Demo Ranch started small, started doing bigger and bigger and bigger stuff. All of a sudden, he can monetize it. The minute you can monetize all that crap, it becomes insane. It's stupid. It doesn't work. So YouTube is a business first and foremost for these people. Brandon Herrera, Demo Ranch, Such 00, Kentucky Ballistics, Honest Outlaw, all those guys are literally making their living making videos. In order to do that, they have to sacrifice a large part of what makes them who they were. You lose that part of them because of what YouTube has forced them to become. They became part of the industrial complex. Sorry, that's a horrible thing to say, but it's 1 bajillion% the truth. Yeah, don't spam, dude. All right, you're confusing me, Grant. I got to put them both in my hand. I'm going to go away for an hour. Sold my Hollow Suns. Also remember the RMS and RMSC footprints are the same. They're threaded, blah, blah, blah. You are so smart. Yeah. YouTube is a shell of what it once was, but it's the most convenient app right now. Yeah, and that is why it has its staying power. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. These companies are so big that unless the powers that be actually shut the companies down, they're not going away anytime soon. There's plenty of money out there. Sorry, man. You've listed 15 paragraphs because I keep on messing with you, and I don't remember the difference. I just know that when I pick up the box, one looks bigger. I don't use red dots. Sorry. I know they're superior. I just don't care. I shoot too close for a red dot to be as effective for me. My nerve damage, by the time I get my sight picture, I can point shoot my X5 Legion faster than I could ever shoot it with a red dot. In fact, I was shooting with our range officer. I was doing low ready shooting because I didn't have a good holster at the time. And I was shooting at a C+ level. And he's like, oh, man, you're doing really good. I never used the red dot once. I literally pointed at the target and pulled the trigger. And I was shooting at a C+ rating. For the meta. There you go. So if you know you're coming up with the red RMRCC, then you need to go with the, what did he say? K. You need the K. I'm not going to keep saying that letter. Ooh, you say that letter too many times and people get angry. I don't know why I keep picking this one up when I set the other one down. It's going to take me a while to transition, and I'm going to keep, because I started HRT, hormone replacement therapy. So anyways, it's going to take me a while to get away from using this bottle. It is interesting that people are mentioning how they're coming across the live stream, though. That explains why we're getting such large swings. And again, I can talk about it all I want. I'm also sitting with my, yeah, you guys didn't know. I had some problems today. I'll explain in a second. But I have my legs elevated. That's why I haven't kicked the camera much. I have my legs, both my legs elevated because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And it's kind of like when you deal with a dentist. I'm elevating my legs so they look better when he takes a look at it. It's like when you brush your teeth for 14 hours before you go to the dentist. I'm trying to make my feet look better. Mechanics for carry, 100%. Absolutely. Best striker fire trigger on the market outside of the Walther, which they're based on. Expensive, new. They're cheap. And they actually run. The MC9 is a great one that was designed specifically for carry. And even if you want to carry the Meta SFT, SFT Pro, or even a rival, they are all very reliable guns. Many, 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 many rounds before you have failures. Sorry, I'm sitting at a weird angle. And when did I eat a pickle? I would go with the Meta MC9 before I went with the FN Reflex. 100%. I would go with it before I even went. I would go with it before I would go with the Shield Plus, or a Shield, not a Plus, a Shield, the standard Shield. Yes. Not the one with the shitty grip safety, but the actual shield. I would go with one of those before I went with one of those. You eat garlic and spinach before the dentist. I just drink hot milk and then sleep with my mouth open. Hell yeah, I've been wondering about Canada. Yeah, dude, you definitely have to shoot it. I actually have to be sedated when I have dentistry. Oh, back to the entire stupid shit with this. So this computer is an old X79. For those of you that don't know, X79 is basically from the time of i7 37 series. So 3770K, 3790K. So we're talking 2014. So this is a 10-year-old computer. However, I gave it my touch. So what you have there is an ROG Extreme motherboard. That's why it has 8 DIMM slots and not 4, because standard X79 only has 4. I know he's not a full nerd and we have to sit and listen to him. Shut up, you'll be fine. But it's water-cooled, massively overclocked, and it has 64 gigs of RAM, which is more than most computers do nowadays. I'm running a crappy graphics card because I sold my 4080 in order to upgrade, so that'll be here tomorrow. And then it's water cooled because I water cool everything, even cheap temporary systems. So yeah, I literally fried my 12900K system because when I was bleeding, I redid the tubes. I went with soft tubing and I redid this tube. And when I did that, I had to bleed the system. And when I did that, unfortunately, I hadn't noticed that I left the CPU power connected, even though the motherboard wasn't connected. So it wasn't actually modulating the power going to the CPU, and I literally fried the CPU. Hopefully I can send it in for an RMA. I know the board's toast, but it was like a $130 board, but the chip is like $300. So hopefully I can get it replaced, kids. And then I'm probably going to go to a 14900K. Have durian candy before the dentist. Nah, the durian candy's a little bit more tame. You got to eat a real durian on the way. Do-do-do-do. Just got to make sure that when the dot is in the center of the glass, you're actually hitting the center of the target. At that point, the rounds will go over the dot is at to a certain distance. That is true. 7 yards, it's probably, like I said, I will take my point shooting over a red dot at 7 yards just based on my personal skill level. But those that have been training for a long time with a red dot will outshoot me any day of the week. And I'm 100% okay with that. Now, if somebody wants to argue saying, oh, well, optics is always going to be superior, no. Optics is a crutch, but it's a good crutch. It's like if you're a dude and you can take a pill to make your thing like 4 inches longer, it's not a bad thing, but it's a crutch, and I don't rely on it. I rely on accuracy by volume. That means sending a lot of rounds downrange and hoping some of them hit. Is it legal to build a submachine gun from scratch? 100%. Elise, you should not load up on candy, but you should eat a bunch of Oreos the night before and then go to bed without brushing your teeth. Jimmini must carry an M134. Nope. You have 2 epic setups, never shoot them. You should have a whole bunch of chocolate and caramel before the Mr. Games a lot. Hello. Yeah, go ahead and spam. That's not going to work well for you. Thoughts on carrying and drinking in public? We've had this talk before. You are more likely to get into a fatal car accident while drinking and armed. The people that will get into an armed altercation are typically not the ones who are legally carrying. If you are staying under the legal limit, technically, there is nothing against it. However, I would recommend that if you are going to be carrying in a situation like that, you either consider becoming the designated person of the group who doesn't drink. If you have to have somebody that's armed, if you live in an area where the area is that bad, I would recommend having a designated shooter. You know what I mean? A designated person. Otherwise, I don't recommend mixing alcohol with a firearm. But again, statistically, you are much more likely to kill somebody with your car while drunk than you are with a gun. If you look at statistics, parties, fights will start, and then they will, unfortunately, the statistics are so small that it's probably hard to do. When I go up to 2 hours, my phone resets the live. I do apologize. Welcome back. Hopefully you just didn't get served an ad. Everybody done. Some guy, it took me a while to learn red dot. Yeah, it does take a while. Dun, dun, dun. Everything isn't 7 yards. And again, if that's what you want to do, that's 100%. But I probably, and I'm not saying this, if somebody of my skill level and I are shooting at the same time from anywhere between 7 and 30 yards, personally, I'm faster with my iron sights because I don't have the experience with the red dot. So I'm going to outshoot somebody with steel sights than I will with a red dot at 7 to 30 yards. Yes, red dots are more accurate. Yes, if you have a good red dot, it will be more accurate. Yes, it can be faster, but I'm not dedicating that kind of time in my life. I don't have that kind of time left. I don't give a crap. I had a Mosin iron sights, and he was nice enough to let you try it. Got on paper at 100. Yeah, rifles are easy to shoot at long distance. You can shoot an AR-15 at 500 yards on steel sights. Is it as easy as you think it is to build a submachine gun? Not going to get into all the laws, but yeah, it is pretty easy to build a submachine gun. Brady is now his fed feathers is showing. Wow. Designated driver care. That's what I play. Concluded that 7 yards is the average distance that DGUs occur at. That's why he used that figure. Well, here's the thing. When I go out and I practice shooting, Daniel will confirm this. When we used to do more often when we went shooting a lot is he and I will actually start at 3 yards. We'll back up to 5, then we'll go to 7, then we'll go to like 10, and we'll shoot those yards for 50 to 100 rounds. And then we'll back up and we'll shoot longer distance. But for me practicing when I'm in a gun store, the gun stores that I've worked at don't have anything farther than 10 yards that I'd be shooting at. And for most instances in a gun store, I'm probably going to engage at 3 to 5 yards. So yeah, 7 yards is the standard FBI blah, blah, blahing. But I start at 3, I go back to 10, and then I move back to long distance. Yes, that is true. You fired 22 rifle and 380 pistol when you're old enough. What should be your first firearm? Whatever you're most comfortable with, Brady. That it's something I tell every time anybody asks that question in store or on a live stream or in a video. You need to go to a firearm store, FFL dealer, or if you have friends that have a lot of guns, and you need to put multiple guns in your hand. You need to feel what feels good. A lot of people will tell you to get a Glock 19. My hands are too big for a Glock 19. It's not comfortable for my pinky finger, so I run a Glock 17 if I'm going to run a Glock. You may not like a 365. You may like a 365 macro. You may not like a Smith & Wesson. You might like the Glock. You might not like an FN. You might like a Canic. You literally need to put your hands on a bunch of different firearms and feel what feels best to you. If you fired a 380, you fired a 22, you fired a 9mm, you fire a 45, you're going to find out what you shoot best. Slow fire, I'm much more accurate with a 45 than I am with a 9. Don't know why. But when it comes to, like, if I were to get into an extended firefight, I'd rather have a 9. So there you go. You always practice at 10 yards and then 25 to show off. Would I fire a 3D printed rifle? Nope. I would not. But you go ahead and I'll watch you. I just don't trust 3D printing. What remedy is best to wipe the outside of a pistol? Personally, I just spray mine down with gun scrubber, wipe it down, and then I lube the entire thing with a good oil. You've always practiced at 10. Yep, you shot the 17L at 20 yards for fun. Yeah, exactly. You're holding explosive if you 3D print the rifle, Carl. Don't. No, Carl, don't do it. Sorry, unknown, but please don't spam. Yeah, we're going to have to kick him. You honestly should practice those closer distances because they're definitely more realistic. People picking people off at 100 yards will be pretty damn hard. Yeah, 100%. You enjoy the 92 platform. In fact, the Gerson regard the PT92 and Beretta M9 FS equally. Do I have a favorite of the three? I prefer a frame-mounted safety, so I prefer the Taurus in general. However, Beretta came out with their XI Performance and then their just standard XI, which put the safety back on the frame because original Berettas had it on the frame. Just saying. So I prefer the Taurus and then the XI version of the Beretta. The Gerson is fine, but it's got finger grooves built into it on all of them, and it feels like It's a clone of the M9A1, and I just don't. It's a little bit heavier. Yes, Levi, I'm not 12. Bye-bye. 10,000 different opinions of the best way to practice. Here's the thing, just frickin' practice. Don't sit here and watch YouTube. Well, they tell me if I hold it equal sight, equal height, equal light, then I'm going to be accurate. And then you get out and you go, because you don't know how to shoot. All comes down to you got to practice. Rounds on target. Thank you, Mr. Mike. They make funny. People degrade your Glock 19. There's nothing wrong with the Glock 19. There's nothing good about a 19, but, you know, it's just a gun. It's a good, reliable handgun. It's going to run for you. Rock that son of a bitch. If you're rocking a high point and it's accurate and you're comfortable with it, be happy with it. Don't let other people give you any kind of crap when it comes to what you're carrying. Yeah, if you carry Chiappa, you're not going to the range with me, but that's just because of a personal bent against Chiappa. But I don't care. If you like Chiappa, have fun with it. One of these posts was deleted. If you're talking about Levi, who's trying to get me to say Ligma balls. Okay, I'm going to argue with you on that, Haywood. Never drop a slide on an empty chamber. It's recommended you don't. It is a possibility you can damage parts inside of your slide, and you can do that, but I've got 15,000 dry fire rounds on one of my 1911s, and I drop the slide every single damn time, and I've never had a part malfunction on it. For the best practices, don't drop the slide on an empty chamber. But doing it is not as catastrophic as people want you to believe. Those people believe in metallurgy from 1904. Sorry, Haywood. We're going to disagree on this one. I know it's probably not, but no. It is best practice. If you see most of my videos, earlier videos, I would just drop it on video, but 98% of the time when I'm dropping a slide, I assist it home. I do not do it. But it's also not nearly as bad as they say it is. Now you got Masad Ayub, who works for Wilson Combat, telling you not to drop the slide. He works for a gun company. I can't take him at his word anymore. Would I recommend the Springfield High Power? If you want something that looks like a high power, sure, but it doesn't share all its parts. You can't put the slide from a high power on a Springfield. I've tried. I have a real one that I disassembled, and I was able to put all the parts on the Gerson. I was not able to put the slide on the Springfield, and the FN is just a freaking joke. What are some things someone under 21 can do for self-defense? Whistles, mace. If you live in a state that allows open carry, if you're under the age of 21, you could always open carry a firearm. Now, I don't always recommend open carrying in public. In fact, I don't recommend open carrying in public. But if you're under the age of 21 and you want to carry a firearm to keep yourself protected, it's the only way you can do it. So go ahead and do it. Otherwise, your cell phone is a very big way of protecting yourself if you're under the age of 21. Not recording, but being able to call 911 is very important. You've got 7 1911s. That's awesome, dude. I love 1911s. Like I said, it's my favorite platform by far, and I want to eventually have one of every manufacturer if possible, but there's too many. Yeah. Drop slide on all of them, but you try not to. Exactly. Am I better? Marginally. You may hear me catch every now and then when I try to breathe, and when I think about it, it really makes it. You drop 5 times for good measure. Dude, I throw my guns for fun, so I'm not always the best example. At the store, okay, now, some of you might have seen the Gerson Negotiator, which is the 1911 with the gold and the tungsten and the cuts and everything. It's basically the Night Stalker, but with the gold barrel. My coworker bought one, and I bought one. And I said it, and he refused to shoot his. He's like, this is a beautiful piece. I'm going to put it up in the shelf. I'm never going to shoot it. Number one, it's an $800 gun that he's never going to shoot. Okay, but I bought one just to mess with him, right? So I take it into the store, and he's talking to somebody. He's like, yeah, I just bought one, and I was carrying it. So I literally took it out. I made sure it was clear. I go to hand it to him, and his hand is barely underneath it, and I literally let the gun go. And it dropped and hit the case on the way down, scratched the slide. The look on this kid's face, he looked like he was about to cry. I mean, he's a little pussy anyways, but he looked like he was going to cry. And it was hilarious. And sorry, I didn't mean to cuss there, but it's the only way I can refer to him. Yeah, but their coatings on them were impressive because I was able to just wipe off the slide on the negotiator. I was very happy, and he was very sad. Yeah, I threatened to shoot it with my 30-30 if he didn't shoot his gun. Have I tried goon tape yet? No, I have not. I use skate. I'll usually buy. Oh God! All of a sudden, I forgot the name of it. Just the skate tape, the actual made for guns. My brain just stopped. Anyways, you currently carry a polymer 80 when you are under. You openly carried in Ohio. It perplexed the cops when they found out it was legal. Should have been stopped at all per Northrop versus City of Toledo. No, and unless somebody calls in a viable, credible threat, police can't actually detain you for openly carrying a firearm. You're not even required to show your ID if you're open carrying. As a concealed carry, technically you could be asked to produce your concealed carry permit if you live in a non-constitutional carry state like me. But yeah, if you're openly carrying, there's nothing they can do. Look, Gerson, untouchable camo. Nope. Is cursing frowned upon in chat? Yes, it is frowned upon. I shouldn't be doing it when I'm talking. But yeah, you can come up with like fun ways of doing it, like EFF instead of F or FUCH, things like that. But don't spam it and try to be simple about it. The algorithm automatically checks it. Talon, thank you. I use Talon tape, but don't just blatantly cuss. It gets caught by the algorithm for one, and then it doesn't get through. And we don't approve those. It's more of a YouTube friendly thing, so I do apologize. Thoughts on the G3C? I like it. I had the G2C when they first came out. Me and my buddy Daniel, we took it out. It's one of the first videos I actually put up here. We put 500 rounds over the course of 2 weekends. Never had a failure to feed, never had a hiccup. We did rapid fire, slow fire. He shoots with his goofy ass car lock. Sorry. But yeah, no, good gun. The G3C is just an improvement, and you get 3 mags. 3 12-round mags plus the gun for like $270. It's a good price. You did it a few times. Yeah, if something sneaks through, it's just going to happen. Don't worry about it, but don't just blatantly sit there and cuss. Beavers when they see a river. Damn. That's what the beaver said when he hit a wall. Damn. If you're coming in new, you want me to answer to you, super chat it. I'm trying to get the new people to give me money. You did not know that. Yep. What? Hey, oh, didn't even see you leave, Lobster. Sorry, man. Welcome back. Congratulations. What else were we talking about here? We talked about the tortoise. Your GPU doesn't turn on. You've reseated everything. Switched the power supply. Do you think it's the motherboard? Does it start with another GPU, or do you have a computer where you can actually take out the graphics card and just hook up to the back of the motherboard? I would try that first. It is possible that your motherboard could be fried. Try a different slot as well. Man was listening to the stream on my phone, and while the YouTube app is great and listen to content, it sucks to chat. That is true. Yep. I actually have a customized 980, for those of you that don't know. Hi. That's my screen. But yeah, I custom removed all the green from the LEDs, so I do that to all my old Reference and Founders editions. You've missed so many lives. How have you been, Jimmini? I've been good, man. I've been good. Good to have you back, man. Nunya. Let's see. To quote Andy from Toy Story, money, 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 money. What? Do you EDC a specific knife or tool? No, because when I carry a knife, I get stabbed, and usually by myself. I stabbed myself a week ago, right after I got sick. So I don't actually carry a knife. I carry guns. I don't trust myself with knives, but I do carry guns. Well, the knife that I do take to work with me is usually just a flip out like QB, because I got this for free and then my buddies keep resharpening it. I think it's getting a lot smaller. It's like butcher knives. It used to be huge and then all of a sudden it shrinks down. But yeah, I've stabbed myself 3 times in the last year using knives. I have yet to shoot myself this year. Streamlight is better than Olight. Warrior Light is superior to both. This one have display to show you battery power. And lumens. Speaking of which, there you go. Man, they're going to be like, hey, he mentioned this twice. Shush, shush. Joe's a knife magnet. My skin is. Should you be scared? I would. Man, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, damn, is there a knife in this house? I'll probably run into it and stab myself with it. I stab into myself. You're not the first person to say that you saw this through YouTube Shorts, Joey. You can stop fidgeting a blade. I didn't mean to drop it then. I meant to drop it a little bit later. But yeah, that's really good for the tip, by the way. I've only stabbed myself 3 times so far. Avoid the GTX 3050. Just go ahead and spend the extra money on a 3060. I bought a 4090. Yeah, little Timmy, this is what happens. This is what this live stream is. It's completely random. And then he does stupid shite like almost hurt himself this year. That's my most important thing. Do I like the Walter PDP? I like Walters. I don't like the PDP slide. I think it's blocky, chunky. It looks like something from Roblox, although Roblox doesn't allow. You know what I mean. No, it's a good gun. Shoots great. Great trigger. I think it's aesthetically ugly, and I'm very aesthetically driven when it comes to handguns. So yeah, I don't actually pay much attention to the Walter PDP because I don't like them. It's only February. Yeah, give it time. Oh, well, that's also because I don't know. Somebody let me know if you can still see it right here. That mark is because I caught a ricochet. Yeah, you can see the bald spot there. I caught a ricochet, so technically I shot myself last year. Don't play with knife. I already threw it, man. We're good. We're good. There's something cursed about a vertical GTX 1080, especially since it's a GTX 980. It's not a 1080. All my GPUs are vertically mounted because I'm really stupid. I also like water cooling them. And through my extensive testing, let's get nerdy here. Through my extensive testing, I've actually seen 1 to 3% difference between a vertical mount and a horizontal mount. And this also reduces sagging quite a bit. You can see that GPU is not sagging at all because it has the full weight of the backplate up against the side of the computer case. Aesthetically ugly is a nice way of putting it. PDP, yes. Okay, I thought you were talking about that. How much is that PC in the back? This PC, I have like $200 into it, not counting the water cooling gear. The water cooling gear in there is like $800, but no, that is just a cheap placeholder PC. For those of you new in here, I blew up my other PC because I'm a dumbass and I'm waiting for parts to show up, so I had to throw that together. I threw that together in about 30 minutes this afternoon so that I'd have my regular full-size computer rig. So that computer costs less than $200 because I've had the parts forever. How strong is my knife? It has hit bone and never snapped the tip off. It's QB. They sent it to me for free like 2 years ago, and it works pretty good. How much of a crap shot do you think 2020? You mean crap shoot? I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think, unfortunately, we're going to get 4 more years with the oversharing carrot, but we'll see what happens. Curry, how am I? I'm good. Guns ranked by looks. 1, 1911. 2, Beretta 92. 3, SIG 226-229. 4, CZ75. 5, Browning high power. 6, if that says 6, yeah, no, okay, yeah. Any thoughts on the TRX? If you're talking about the Ram TRX, I tried, I was interested in buying one. I had the Ram Laramie. I like the TRX, but I think it's too much money. I currently drive a 2015 Dodge Durango RT Hemi all-wheel drive, and that's plenty of engine, and I've been thinking about doing the 6.4 cam swap and valve cover, or intake onto that one. But I also found a guy local to me, and since I'm not doing the 300 as of this moment, since I'm not building the 300, I might just sell that and get the supercharger. A guy selling a full Hellcat supercharger with injectors, fuel rails, everything for $2,500. So I might do that to my Durango and then have a Hellcat Durango for much less. You stopped at 6. Dark Wolf Boy, do I like monkeys? Never really thought about them. Never really thought about them. 10-minute timeout for Andrew. He must have said something good. So, to all you new people coming in, this is a live stream about nothing in particular. You come on in, hang out, have some fun. If that winds up being a dirty joke, please get rid of them. But yeah, it's just a place where we hang out, talk stupid stuff, ask me questions. I'll give you answers. Give me answers to questions I haven't asked yet. Whatever you want to do. Sometimes we do voices, sometimes we don't. If you want to ask a question and the chats are going insane, you're going to have to do a super chat, but I don't really care for those. So all I ask is if you are coming and going, just hit the like button on your way out. It helps the algorithm, and it helps make a couple of shekels so that I can afford to buy stuff for the channel. So, we're at 2 hours, so I figured I'd throw it out there. Every hour or so. What videos do I make? Mostly firearms, some gun, some computers, but mostly firearms. I do reviews on my couch. If you go through the shorts and you see a dude with tattoos bouncing guns off his couch. That's me. I do some reviews, long form, short form, all that stuff, but it's mostly firearms on this channel, and then some gun and some video game stuff. Wow. I didn't even read that one. We got to see the Hellcat Durango. Like I said, if I buy that Hellcat intake, that would be an interesting change. You have a Mustang EcoBoost. Are they actually lame? No, because when the EcoBoost Mustang came back out for 2015, it's actually the one I prefer over the GT. I think it rides better. It feels better. It's a good driving car. Also, they neutered the Mustang for 2015, so I really don't care for the Mustang in general after 2015. If you look at the interior of a 2014, like what I had, you'll notice the first thing that caught my eye is the fact that they moved the tack from the right side of the dash to the left side of the dash. And then the other thing is with lightings. But when they moved the tack from one side to the other, it was because in other countries where they drive on the other side of the road and they drive on the other side of the car, you want to be able to shift and see your tachometer. So they literally changed it just for the UK market, which was demanding the car. Also, if you go over to some European countries, they require a fog light. So the reverse light on a 2015 and up Mustang in Europe is actually your rear fog light. The Mustang taillights only have 2 brake light elements and a reverse light element in the actual taillights. So that becomes that. They lowered the car while leaving the hood line at the same level, so the back of the car looks lower because they need to meet pedestrian crash ratings. So everything that Ford did to the Mustang for the 2015 year changed it from a Mustang to a European Euro trash car. And immediately I was going to buy one because I was working at Ford. I had a 2014 when the 2015s were coming out. I was going to trade my 2014 in on the 2015. And as soon as I actually saw the car, I literally almost puked in my mouth. You can't sit in the rear seat of a 2015 because, again, they lowered the car without lowering the floor. So the car actually rides at the same height as a 2015, but it's 2 inches lower because they literally just lowered the roof and left the hood up where it was, and they lowered the rear end. If you look at the back of a Mustang, the 2015, you'll see the rear window. You come to the back of the rear window, then you'll see a piece of metal about this long, and then you see the rear trunk lid because that's where they visually lowered it without actually lowering the car. So again, no, I don't like the 15. Sorry, that was a long-winded way of saying I don't like the 15 and up. Cops were not big fans of your RIP rounds. Yeah, RIP rounds, radically invasive projectiles, are not something that the police actually care for. They're great for demonstrations, but they do not pass muster with law enforcement. Have I ever played with any? Oh, the CMMG conversion kit? No, I've sold a bunch of them and I've never had them come back. From what I understand, they're very good. What was my first car or truck you want to see 20 for your first car? I grew up and I went driving age in the 90s. So my first car was actually a 1986 Pontiac Grand Am 2-door SE Coupe with a 3-liter V6. My second car was a 1990 Dodge Omni 4-cylinder automatic that I got from my daddy. What's the best gun you own? Don't want to answer that question because the minute I answer that, it'll change. I loved my DWX, but I sold my DWX because of reasons. It was an optics cut. Remember when I went on the whole rant about optics cuts? The DWX was one that I wanted to be optics cut. Plus, it was over $2,000. So, but no, probably my 1911s are my best guns. What GPU I got? An old GTX 980 for now. I have a 4090 that's showing up tomorrow. It's on its way here right now. Just got done building 2 turbos for an EcoBoost. Still in your shop. You love Ford. They pay your mortgage. You know what's funny is for the first few years I was selling EcoBoost because 2014 trucks got or 2011 and up got EcoBoost. Up until the redesign for the 2015 or 2016 year, we'd never had one come back to our shop. I had more Shelby GT350Rs come back, or excuse me, GT350s with the Voodoo engine come back before the old school F-150s came back. You love your 08 Grand Cherokee. It's murdered out and lifted. That's awesome. What's the best handgun for home defense? You're thinking FNX 45 for capacity and stopping power. Yeah, that's a good one. You could definitely run that. 45 ACP has good stopping power, and that's a good gun. It's very reliable. I agree with you. But most people will say a Glock is your best bet. Getting a Glock 9mm hollow points and just keep that by your bedside. What was my first gun? a Rock Island 1911 double stack 9mm 22 TCM combo. Had 17 round capacity. It was $700, and I love that gun, but I wound up selling it for a Canic and something else. You had a 91 Suburban, but you can't have those in Chicago. Why not? Yeah, I knew which FNX you were talking about. You're a big fan of me and my content, and thanks for answering your questions. And you subscribed. If you have one more question for me, what's my favorite car ever made? You have to go now. Bye. Well, sorry, you got to go, Sarah Jane. Thanks for coming in. My favorite car ever built is the 3rd gen Camaro. I've had 14 of them. 3rd gen, 82 to 92, specifically the 86 to 89 IROX. I used to have a 1LE RU7 player edition car. Had the roll cage from the factory and the manual transmission. It was one of 52 built. It was amazing, and it got stolen because people are assholes. Did we lose Ocean and DB? Nope, DB's still there. Ocean is here. They're just watching the chat. What is in that computer? Welcome. You must be new to the chat. This is a temporary build. It's an X79. It has a GTX 980, an i7 4930K, and 64 gigs of RAM. I blew up my 12900K system, and I'm waiting for parts that will be here hopefully in the next day or so. So yeah, that is nothing but a custom water-cooled X79 from 2014. Well, see, the problem is I yelled at them for talking about how many subscribers or viewers kept dipping in and out and dipping in and out and dipping in and out, and they got quiet because they think Daddy's mad at them. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. Where is the damn sloth? Hold on, I'll find the damn thing. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, there he is. Apparently he's right there. I am so sorry. Here. You can sit right there. You can hold my screwdriver. You're not very good at holding things, Slothy. There we go. Pa, there, happy? The sloth hath returned. What gun did you use or see that started the love of firearms? The gun that I first saw that started my love of firearms was actually when my father was in the military. It was 1991. We were in Baumholder, Germany. Actually, we were in Neubrücke, which was the family living area. And we got to go out to the woods where they were actually doing practice and drills and stuff, and I got to hold his Beretta M9A1. So that was the first handgun I ever held, outside of like airsoft and pellet guns. So that was actually the one that actually started my obsession with that gun. And then of course, Lethal Weapon came out and he was using the Beretta. So that was pretty cool. Called Rammers, and if you have one, all of a sudden it's gang affiliate. That is dumb as shit. I used to buy from Chicago all the time. Used to love buying Suburbans and two-door Tahoes and stuff from Chicago. Sloth is the damn co-host. That is wild stuff. This is Sloth. How you doing, Sloth?
My name is Sloth. I'm a good guy.
There. That just didn't disturb some of you. Rick Johnson, AR or AK? I'm predominantly AR due to its grown-up Lego status, but I do respect the AK round. I actually have a couple of ARs chambered in 7.62, which is not exactly the same, but it makes me feel good. But I actually prefer the AR round. I prefer a more modern look. That's why my NAC 9, which is a 9mm AK, is all mag pulled out, and it runs an optic because, you know, modern. Modern! You still want the sloth. Just go to World Wildlife Federation and sponsor a sloth. It's like $30. You get your own sloth. Your father is a vet and you dislike Trump. You don't get it. It's not that I don't like Trump. I just think he talks too much. If he just did what he sets out to do without touting how good he is at what he does, then I'd be much more apt to enjoy him. It's kind of like when you have the quiet kid on your basketball team that can hit from anywhere. Yeah, you can be quiet and humble, or you can be a loud, boisterous, comb-over wearing, talking carrot who likes to infuriate the shit out of people. And everybody's always talking about how great Trump is. You know, he married his way out of 2 bankruptcies. Yeah, he thought with his penis, not with his wallet. But yeah, no, I don't care. If he wins, he wins. It's better than the alternative, but I'm voting for a bowl of Captain Crunch. Oh no, dude, I trust you about the Chicago Rammers. Found and bought back and got to ground up redo your 1969 442. Ooh, that's awesome, dude. That you got it and bought it back. That's awesome. Thoughts on the Mutant, the 7.62 AR? Like I said, I have some that are chambered in 7.62, but if you're talking about the CMMG Mutant, it's a pretty interesting gun because of its blowback style or the lace style on it, being gassed. It's pretty cool. DB, hurrah! We'll see you later, bro. You mean you don't think with Mr. Willie? Dude, I think with Mr. Willie, but I usually have a conversation with him. Because he's a businessman, he's the first president in 71 years without a war, I'll take the talking carrot. My thoughts on Paul Harrell. I'm going to miss him when he's gone because I enjoyed his content. However, I have this thing, and some of you may think this is slightly psychotic, but it's more autism based, and also the fact that I don't form emotional connections to people. But because I've never met the man and I have no personal interaction with him, after he dies, I'll never think of him again. Quite frankly, it's that way with family. When somebody is integral to my life, such as my family, my father, my parents, my very close friends, their kids, those people affect my life and my feelings in a way. Paul Harrell just kind of gave me information I didn't have, taught me a lot of things, but I never looked to him for inspiration or for leadership. So again, it's sad that he's going to die from pancreatic cancer. And unfortunately, once he's gone, that's it. I'll never think of him again. I wish it was the Kardashians. Actually, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I take that back. I don't wish death on anybody. I just wish the Kardashians would just stop being on TV, the internet, Earth. Yeah. Thankfully, I did that when there's only 30 people. Hemi swapped the 300. The 300 has a Hemi in it. It's just a blown up Hemi. Don't spam, Chance. On the other hand, Biden is suffering from obvious dementia. Yeah, he needs to go away. I told you, I'm voting for a bowl of Captain Crunch. Actually, I'm handwriting my name into the ballot because I am 44. I'm old enough to run for president of the United States. What a country. What a political system. Why does anybody want to be in charge of the country? Also, unless Trump now, because he did 4 years and he's doing another 4 years, I'm not sure if that disqualifies him from a third 4 years because he wouldn't be doing 8 years consecutive. But all he's going to be doing for his entire presidency, because he's going to win, is he's going to be correcting problems that he feels were put into place, and obviously obvious problems that were put into place by the previous administration. Your first 4 years are nothing if you're a president. It's the last 4 years that determines what policies you put into place. So, Chance, stop. It's been 10 minutes yet. Yes, Andrew, it is 10 minutes. So I don't know why you got timed out, but whatever it was, don't do it again. Earth. Old man, alert the nursing home staff. You found the escapee.
Look, buddy, that's why I do this on the internet, so I don't have to see you punk-ass punks on my lawn.
Trump might not win. He's hated by the independent voters and by suburban women, not to mention that he's getting the urban vote. Yeah, okay, here we go. Name the last independent to win the United States presidency. I'm waiting. Given the context of what we were talking about, that was kind of silly to get muted for. It wasn't that bad. I thought it was. I didn't see your comment. DB, before you time somebody out for 10 minutes, go with a 1 minute and let me know what's going on if you wouldn't mind. DB's not even here. So if I see your comment, I'll react to it myself. It's a good sport and I love it. I try to be, dude. Thoughts on budget guns? I'm for them. They're fine. There are a lot of companies manufacturing guns under $300 that would be considered budget that will run and drive with the best of them. PSA Dagger's close to 300. Paid 360 for a Rock 5.7. You just want anything? Yeah, Minister. I agree. It was when you jabbed yourself, and I basically went to swords, and they didn't like it. All right, yeah, just make sure that you don't put like an obvious cuss word or anything in there, and then I'll talk to DB. Some people tell a joke that he doesn't get, and he just times them out automatically, so we'll have a discussion. I think there will be a 24 election if 20 thaws. I gotta ask why they don't want him in office back. Because he's the least evil of the options, believe it or not. Because you're gonna have a dementia-laden idiot or a man that can't keep his mouth shut, but actually does some good. Whereas idiot who holds hands with another country's prime minister and won't let go because he thinks he's holding his wife. I don't mind how you get sensitive YouTube these days. It's a pain in the ass. Last midterms because of Trump supported candidates. Yeah, essentially stepped up their game. Taurus, yep. You had a G3C, it ran good, yep. Fact that independent voters held their nose and voted for establishment D's last midterm showed how much Trump and his supporter candidates are hated. Okay, Ocean Dude. I'm like I said, I'm not sure if it went into vulgar or not, but yeah, if it does happen, I'm not seeing them because I'm going from my phone, and you guys are actually seeing those before I am because I'm actually just watching the replay. I can't jump in on my, believe it or not, as mods, you have quicker access to my chats than I do right now. Mr. Mike, first time viewing me, age and state. I'm in Northern Virginia, and I am 44 years old. Bro's here asking for ASL. I don't do ASL. You haven't timed anybody out for more than 60 seconds so far. Yeah, start with the 60, especially if it's like their first time on a stream. And then if they continue to do it after a 60-second, then you can time them out longer. Hey, remember that old AIM reference? Are we talking about like Marvel AIM? Hail Hydra? Thank you, Ocean Dude. Hi, Mila. Short for age, sex, location. Used to be used a lot when people had AOL. Oh, gotcha. I was thinking sign language, American Sign Language. Yeah, if he wants my bank account number, I'll just put it up on screen at any time. Trying to tiptoe around explaining it without saying it was pretty funny to me. Thought, honestly. Yeah, like I said, because I'm going off the phone, I'm not using OBS because OBS is a bastard program made by bastard people, and it doesn't like YouTube's live. It puts like a 40-second delay between what I'm actually saying and when it's showing up on screen, that I decided to keep using the phone. Where was I in the 90s? I was in Minnesota and Germany, and then Minnesota again. Thoughts on carrying in prohibited zones? If you properly carry, nobody's going to know. That's my thought on carrying in prohibited zones. I'd rather be asked to leave than be unarmed. You've got mail. You kind of explained a little bit up in the chat you missed, but no worries. Sorry, man. You like my tattoos. Thank you. Did you unmiss the whole AOL age? I was a teenager in the very early 90s. So when AOL got into popularity, you're talking like 95, 96, stuff like that. I was already past it because I was an adult. And I was selling cars, and I was making a lot of money selling cars. So I never really got into the whole AOL Instant Messenger thing. I never really got into like IMing people and things like that, just because I was too busy working. I was working 6 days a week, open to close at the dealership because I enjoyed it. It was a fun thing to do. And yeah, I just never had time for anything outside of that. Plus, I was very heavily addicted to poker and blackjack. So if I wasn't working, I was gambling. If it's okay for somebody who made a rom-com chick flick titled Sub to My OnlyFans nowadays, pretty much. How old am I? I'm 44 years old, Andrew. Those damn free CDs they send everyone. Dude, I think I have a bunch at my office. I bought an estate sale, and the guy had a binder where he was literally keeping AOL discs. It was hilarious. What's it like working at a car dealership? Hunting. Hi, how are you? What's it like working at a car dealership? Post-COVID, it's much different. So I will start back before 9/11, which is actually when I started. I started before 9/11. So I worked for an independent used car dealer. Sorry, I need to sit up because my legs are cramping. We sold just about everything, and it was the best I'd ever had it. We had what's called Blue Sky from our financing companies. We had like $4 million just sitting, waiting for people to pay. And we could buy pretty much anything we want, sell at any rate we wanted, and we had tons of fun. After 9/11, it got a lot harder to sell cars because obviously all the new car dealers were trying to pump up the economy by selling cars at 0%, and everybody got addicted to that. So that took over a big portion of our time. And then the stupid ass cash for cars or cash for clunkers initiative happened where they took 750,000, more than that actually, running driving cars off the road, because for that program, if any of you are old enough to remember that, the car had to be registered, insured, and current inspection depending on the state you lived at. Somebody traded in a Buick Grand National GNX, the twin turbo, the upgraded GNX, for $4,000. We were seeing 40,000 mile Suburbans coming in for $4,500 for credit towards new cars. That ruined it. And then I went to work for a Ford dealership, and I had a lot of fun because selling cars ain't hard. You don't sell the car. It's the same way as when you play poker or do other things. I don't sell cars, I sell me. Half the time, I never even introduce myself. Most of the time, unless somebody bought a car from me, they did not leave with my business card. And I was always at the top of the leaderboards. There was one kid that had a much bigger hustle than I did, so he was always able to beat me, but I always made more money than he did. I also never had a manager close for me. So that's my experiences from working at the car dealership. Andrew, if you had to pick a time to live, when would you pick? I kind of like the idea of the late 1800s, as long as you avoided the cholera and tuberculosis. Haha. I prefer the time I grew up in, the 80s, 90s, into now. I think this is the best we've ever had it as a human species. Granted, if you live outside of the United States, if you live in a country that's much more restrictive, doesn't have the infrastructures of the population like we do, I'm sure that to some people it doesn't seem like the best time to be alive, but I literally have multiple water-cooled computers. I have guns, gun safes. I have a YouTube channel. So now is the best time to be alive, in my opinion. Well, yeah, cash for clunkers, lobsters. We used to actually be between two no car dealers. So every morning we would take a checkbook and we would go to the dealers next to us and we would sit there and we would wait for people to come in and trade in their cars. And we would literally just write them checks for $4,500. So they didn't even have to use that towards their new car if they didn't want to. But we would buy like 60,000 mile. This was when they were like 3-year-old Suburbans for $4,500. Do I sell demolition derby cars? No, I don't sell cars anymore. And even when I did sell cars, I worked for dealerships, not for like shade tree dealers where that you could buy basically demo cars. Thoughts on smoking tobacco? If you smoke, you smoke. If you don't, you don't. I don't smoke personally. I've never seen the appeal of it, but if you smoke, whatever. Do whatever you want to do, man. I don't really care. Smoking is smoking is smoking. It's like drinking is drinking is drinking. I don't drink. I don't do drugs, but mainly just because I don't care for them. Yeah. Am I a little bit milquetoast in that way? Yeah. But I think my insanity that shows through a lot of times actually makes up for that quite a bit. 9:30. So we've been going 2.5 hours. We're going to go like 3 hours tonight, I think. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, so I don't know if I'll be here too long. We are extremely lucky to be born now, even with all our problems, 100%. We exist in a time where the only reason why we complain about how we have it and how it was better back then is because we live in a time that is so modern and changing on a daily scale that we don't understand what it was like. Okay. Well, I don't get what that's about. Are you plugging yourself, G? You switch to vaping and you definitely feel better. It's still an addiction all the same. Yeah, I mean, it is. Opinion on lactose-based products. I did say it was an Ask Me Anything. I don't really mind. I'm not lactose intolerant, so the only lactose I suffer from is the fact that I'm a double amputee. Thoughts on the Mary Jane? Again, if you do it, whatever. Enjoy it, man. I've tried it. It literally does nothing to me. And I don't mean in the, oh, I don't realize it's doing nothing to me. It literally does nothing to me. Opioids, cannabis, any kind of, most 90% of them, I'm actually non-responsive to fentanyl. So yeah, most drugs do nothing to me, which sucks, but it's a truth that I deal with on a daily basis. So, all right. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not dealing with it. Yay! There we go. And I don't care. You come in without saying hi and you try to plug yourself on a channel with 24 people watching. That's kind of crazy. All our hierarchy of needs are met usually besides the very top philosophical things we crave answered for. So it's almost too good that we get distracted by the bigger questions of existence. Also, we have this. We have the internet. We have the ability to wirelessly communicate across the entire world in an instant. I have people that talk to me from tomorrow because of the time zone they're in. It's absolutely amazing the time we live in, but it's also quite frustrating. Back when mom used to say, you know, they're starving children in Africa, that's because they didn't know that Africa is actually a very well-fed country outside of the Sarah McLaughlin or whoever it was. Non-responsive to fentanyl is crazy. There's a diagnosis behind it. It's idiopathic. It's the same thing with my cluster headaches. It's just my body is non-reactive to opioids. Percocets, Oxy, pretty much all of it is literally, I could take 80, I could take 10 tens and it does nothing to me. So I just don't take pain meds because the only stuff that works, and it works for about 5 minutes, is Dilaudid and morphine. And literally within 5 minutes, my body absorbs it, even when it's directly injected into my heart through a PICC line. I've had PICC lines, and we were putting morphine into it, and within 5 minutes, it wears off. So it's pretty insane. It floods your system, and then it just literally, it absorbs, and I just piss it out. I take 3,000 milligrams of Excedrin at a time. So 3 grams of acetaminophen at a time, and I do that anywhere from 6 to 10 times a day, and I have perfect liver function. So my body filters out so much medication that it just kind of goes. Cardboard, yes, I have no toes. I'm a double amputee. That's why my legs are hurting me. Any thoughts of the first Neuralink implant in a human? You think it definitely has promise with the disabled, but it could be used for evil potentially? Yes, because it requires a wireless connection for it to work correctly. Is a pretty wild thing. Now, the type of encryptions that they use based on the type of computers that can access it, if they have 256 or 512K encryption, can make it much more secure, but there will be somebody that dedicates their life to cracking it so that they can upload a virus and then take over human brains, supposedly. I think eventually we're all going to become somewhat cybernetic organisms where we have living tissue and mechanicals. You must have some liver enzyme that breaks things down rapidly, or maybe lacking one that allows it to pass through you. Literally, just even my urine samples are always normal, so it's crazy. It's like my body just whatever. It's like nah, it does what it does. We're done. How do they do surgery without me feeling pain? I can be knocked out, and I have to be knocked out for literally everything. And nerve blockers work to an extent, but they have to administer extra. But literally, even if, like for my skin grafts and stuff, they literally have to knock me out. I can't be awake. Our man is a superhero for real. No, it sucks, man. You know how many of my friends are like, dude, man, you should get perks and sell them to us because, dude, it feels so good. I'm like, go to hell, dude. I'm sitting here in pain. You want me to get pain med just because you want to feel nothing? Your dad is having his left leg amputated tomorrow, and it sucks. Sorry to hear that, Mark. That does suck, dude. I hope his surgery goes well, and I hope, unfortunately, it sounds like it was a necessary thing, but I hope it does alleviate what is causing his current issues. My wishes go to you, Mark. Haven't seen you in a while. I guess I know why now. I hope you feel better, dude. Bluetooth connection is how parts of it communicates, but you think being cybernetically enhanced could be incredible. Pain pills are the biggest problem in America because doctors want their patients quiet and calm. And when you're high, you're usually quiet and calm. Does gabapentin or Prega work for me? Nope. I've taken gabapentin. Literally, The first week that I used it, it would, for the first like 10 minutes I took it, I'd get a little bit of a nauseating and dizzy feeling, and then it would just stop. Because I was diagnosed incorrectly as being bipolar. So they gave me gabapentin because gabapentin is actually given for bipolar disorder, and they had me on that for a while, and it did nothing. I've also been on Ritalin because they thought I was full ADD. I have ADD, I know I do, but it's non-reactive. But literally, Ritalin puts me to sleep. It doesn't control anything. It just makes me tired. Yeah, as the other one, I don't know what's in that, but yeah, I'm also allergic to antibiotics. So I don't take them very often, and when I do, they make me throw up pretty bad. Oh, Bluetooth. Come on, people, we got nobody in here, and I want people in here so I can be talking like Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog. Here we are. We're talking like normal people. Kratom is better than painkillers, but you can still get addicted. No respiratory depression is very good and should be researched more to maybe find the perfect painkiller. Yeah. You damn sure don't obviously seem bipolar. Lobster, you're out. No, I'm definitely ADD, but I think that's just the way my brain functions. It causes me to act ADD. But yeah, bipolar was a misdiagnosis by the doctors when I was younger. They assumed that I was, but here's the thing. I do get into hypermanic states. I've never had a depressive episode. I've had attempts to delete myself, but I've never had a depressive episode. My decisions were always factual based and based on the level of pain that I currently suffer and what I was suffering, because I couldn't get doctors to understand my level of pain. Because you know the chart where you go 1 to 10. I live life at an 8. So that's where I am. I literally don't sleep until I pass out because I'm always in too much pain. If I try to lay down, literally every muscle in my body starts to twitch because I have myelin sheath disorder that's slowly deteriorating it. So as soon as I stop moving, I don't stop moving. I never stop moving, but my body literally, the nerves, the endings, the nerve bundles are slowly being stripped away of their protective coating, and it causes me to unstoppably twitch. So it's not like Parkinson's or anything like that. Unfortunately, it's something that sucks a little bit more because it's not a disorder that is a popular one. It's not one that everybody gets. So it's just a genetic thing, and it is what it is. So there's no cure for it. I mean, I guess I could pull out my entire nervous system and wrap it in duct tape, but outside of that, there's nothing they can do. Ocean Dude, you're heading out. You have to be up at 5:30. I hear you. I'm going to be heading out here in a little bit too. We're going about 3 hours tonight. So you think you got maybe ADHD or slight autism, but you're high functioning enough that you only see an adult diagnosis being bad for your firearms ownership, regardless. The less the government knows, the better. No, I'm fully disabled. It doesn't affect your firearm ownership. The only things that will affect firearm ownership are if you ever get adjudicated or a judge says you have to go to a mental health facility against your will, things like that. Being able to actually talk to somebody and get diagnoses and treatment for any mental instability, depression, hypermania, manic depression, etc., is a good thing, dude. So if you ever feel like you're in that situation and you have the ability to speak to somebody, I would actually highly recommend it. And this is me not being a dumbass, not being a smartass. I highly recommend talking to somebody because it does not. I have put myself into the loony bin multiple times in order to protect myself and give myself the time I needed to recuperate and calm down. And I'm an instant approval for firearms because I took the proactive step of getting myself treated before I went over the edge of not coming back. Have I tried tramadol? Yes, I have literally tried everything. I have been dealing with my pain and my headaches since I was 18. So for over 25 years, I have been actively trying to get better. This is one of the reasons I really don't talk about it, because literally there's nothing you can think of I haven't tried. So I appreciate it. I know you're just throwing stuff out there, but if you can think of it, I've already tried it. Even pure oxygen does nothing. Nothing against doctors, but they tend not to listen very well, and you work with a lot of them. I have spent more time in hospitals than most doctors right now. My medical file that was submitted just from the doctors here in the state of Virginia when I had to get submit for disability benefits was 1,200 pages long. And you can go through every page of that file, and at no time am I sitting in there bitching about my life, complaining about it, or asking for anything other than a little bit of attempts at help. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. As an elementary student way back in the 70s, you were given Ritalin. It kind of helped, but not for more than 6 months. You're just high strung and always heard of others seem to be waiting on. Yeah, it's difficult when your brain runs faster. Your brain can run hot. There's nothing wrong with that. It's how you deal with it and how you use it that matters. You've been on and off for a while, and you're right, just have too many responsibilities right now, but your mental health is on the list of things to work on. You had an eventful past year, but you'll get by. Yeah, but promise me right now, dude, if you need to reach out, you reach out to me. Don't, if you're feeling any kind of way, you reach out to me. Just hit my email. I check it 30 times a day. So I answer all my emails and things like that. What's up, Sam? So if you are feeling any kind of way, you let me know and we will help you get through it, dude. Even if it's not online or anything like that, dude, I'll get you through it. Thank you, Carl, for understanding. So long shot, but LSD has been shown to miraculously cure cluster headaches. Yes, I suffer. Now, if you do your Googling and you look up the cases of cluster headaches, now a typical cluster headache will be a cluster headache, a group of headaches that last anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks, supposedly. And then the typical sufferer of cluster headaches will have months or years between bouts. Those are the kind of people that respond to it. I have literally had a headache since I was 17 years old. I literally wake up every day with a headache. Sometimes it accelerates to like a double migraine, but I have literally had a headache. I am in the 0.00018% of people that has the worst possible version of it. And it sucks. But yeah, no, LSD, I won't try LSD just because the way my body reacts to even morphine and other things, I'm pretty sure that I would be either non-reactive or it would take such a high dose that I would become completely immune to it within a week. But yeah, no, I've heard that magic mushrooms can help too, but unfortunately, I have been blessed with the crap stick, if that makes any sense. The great Titino's edits. Hello. What do some of the things I do to stay happy when all else feels lost? I go for long drives. I love driving my cars. I used to have a lot of high performance cars back in the day. I love that. I go to the range and do some shooting. The percussive feeling helps me out. But literally for me, I have had anxiety, a couple of anxiety issues when things feel lost. Cooling myself down is number one to make me feel better. The minute I get super cold, I feel so much better. So that's one of the things I do. As for the rest of it, I almost never feel that lost. I get extremely frustrated, but I've never, outside of pain management and trying to figure out what was causing my pains, I've never been in a point where I felt lost. And I wasn't lost when I tried to end myself. I was in so much pain that I just wanted it to stop. And I figured at the point I'd been at after 15 years of trying to figure it out and doctors not listening to me, that it made the most sense at that time. So if I had been in a state that allowed for it, yeah, it probably would have been successful. But thankfully it didn't. I'm still here. I'm still able to have friends in my life. So this has actually helped speaking back and forth more than I think. Isolating is the literal worst thing. Yeah, absolutely. People don't understand that. People that sit there and they don't talk to people, they get worse and worse because you're trapped in here. It's like somebody that's paraplegic, quadriplegic, can't walk. Their mental state goes quite quickly. Does hitting the like button help? I don't know. Give it a shot. Only 17 people have done it so far. They make 9 psychoactive forms of methamphetamines in Vicks vapor rub, so there's hope they could get to the same with LSD one day without the trip for those that don't want that experience but relief. I don't know. I've never had a hallucinogenic trip. I've just had a 750 of alcohol that I downed in 20 minutes and then ate a peanut butter sandwich, which I'm allergic to. By the way, I'm allergic to peanuts. We love you, man. Glad you're persevering or persevered. Thank you, Carl. I really appreciate that. And again, I don't ever want to be like a pity party guy. I'm not one of those YouTubers. I nearly died and this is what happened. I made a video back in 2017 and I don't talk about it much unless somebody asks. You lost your last family member and had your girlfriend cheat on you, so it's been stuck up here in the big house alone, and it's hell to have a few friends that helps. Yes. Every 3 days, man. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Come here. Let me know how you're doing. We didn't know until the next day, bro. I'm pretty sure I told you a long time ago, Sam, that I was allergic to peanuts. So I do a 750 of vodka, watermelon vodka. This is last summer. It's why I don't drink anymore. And they tried to sober me up by giving me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And needless to say, it didn't work. Also, when you pull into a boat rental dock and the guy gets on the boat and looks over the side and says, "What the F?" that probably means something weird happened. It was kind of funny. We didn't know until the next day. Yep. Yo, the PC is catching on fire. Made me look. That would be kind of funny. It's water cooled, so I'll just pull off one of the hoses. And the point is that they're very different. You also mentioned that your peanut allergy a few nights ago. Yeah, it comes up. Mainly because I was eating almonds at the time and I just wanted to make people freak out. I promise you didn't, or you wouldn't have given me a PB&J. Dude, I was so drunk you could have fed me the carpet off the boat. You like my PC. Thank you. I like yours. Man, thanks, man. I'll be back here for sure. I've already subscribed, and you'll hit the bell when you're at it. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, Ryan's cleaning guns. He doesn't realize that I have his H&K USP 45 Elite sitting over here. It's calling out to me. It's like, don't give it back. I have your gun. I have your gun. You got some carpet I can eat. You're lucky DB isn't here right now because DB would time you out, bro. I've got a cheap Chinese light that we're going to put on the Rock 5.7 when we go shooting it. You know, if you can ever figure out how to not have your damn kids in the morning. What is that teddy bear? It's not a teddy bear, actually. This is a sloth because at one time in the last couple of years, I only had 3 toes. And they got me a sloth to make fun of it. Also, it's a adoption process through World Wildlife Federation. So I got 2 sloths adopted in my name for Christmas one year. And they're just kind of cool. They sit here. I got one that sits in my other one. Andrew, my man, thank you so much for keeping. Thank you. Thank you for donating, man. You did not have to do that. I greatly appreciate it. I really appreciate you just coming and being honest and talking with me, dude. But thank you so much. I also noticed it's your first donation. That makes a lot. That means a lot to me, dude. The fact that you found it worth it to you. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thoughts on airsoft for dry fire training? Yeah, airsoft definitely works. Yeah, absolutely. So all you guys coming in, we just talk. We have fun. Throw out some questions. But airsoft, if you watch, I can't remember who it was, but a guy did a thing with a Japanese airsoft shooter who only shoots airsoft. Sorry, we're buffering. My computer's buffering. Something's buffering. There we go. But he is an amazing shot, even with AR-15s and Glocks, because he dries fires with airsoft. So it's definitely worth doing. Sub day. Wait, are we still talking about subscriptions or Gopher? I gained toes. No, I have no toes, my friend. I have stumps. Howdy, Thomas. How are you? Oh, that is so sick. What is so thick? My computer? Or the fact that we sit here and talk about everything? Oh, that's cool. It just lets you know it was a first ever. It's outdated, but killer PC, man. Still looks sick. Thank you, dude. If you were here for any like the past week's ones, you would have seen it. Actually, it's because I fried my good system, and I have a few backup parts and systems laying around all the time. I fried my 12900K system with a power oversurge to the motherboard, and I sold my 4080 so I can get a 4090. So yeah, I'll be rebuilding it as soon as I get the parts. Oh look, Liberty Arms. That's the store down in Harrisonburg. Look them up if you're looking for stuff. Yeah, the sloth is just in there. I've got 2 of them. One's at my office. Wasn't that Mojo or T-Rex? What? I don't know. Sunday Gunday? There's a guy called Sunday Gunday. Any advice for a complete noob in getting a starter gaming system? It all depends on what kind of money you're wanting to play with. A average system right now, if you have a Micro Center in your area, you could probably get something in like a 4060 Ti and a 12900K setup for under $1,000. But if you want to get like extreme, you're going to have to go used. So buying like a more modern pre-built system and just throwing a graphics card in it. It's been done to death, but it works. You can get some corporate PCs and things like that and throw them together, and then you can have some fun with them. But for the most part, just look at Micro Center because they're doing 12900K motherboard and RAM for $400. You can get a 460 Ti for like $300 to $400, and then you can build the rest of the system for a couple of $100. So you're going to spend about $1,000, but it's going to be a system that should work for a while. What's my story? My story is that I'm an idiot on the internet who does gun reviews, car reviews back in the day, video game hunting back in the day. And I just kind of shoot the shite, and I film on a couch that I bounce guns off of, which you may have seen in shorts, which may have led you here. Are birds real? No, only dinosaurs. Is a PC with a GTX 970 plus an i5 2500 a good deal for 200? If you're talking 200 US, no, that's a $100 computer. It is not worth it. What happened to your toes? If I don't mind you asking, it's a long story. I'll get to it in a little bit. Is the Mantis laser dry fire system actually worth it? Do I think? You keep seeing Garantham talking about it. I've seen people that excel with it. Also, if you don't want to be firing like a airsoft gun in your house, airsoft gun gives you the recoil, so that's a little bit better if you buy the recoiling airsoft guns. But if you want something this for accuracy, yeah, because it's technically like hitting a bore sighter and watching it hit the target. So it's definitely worth investing if you have the money and you need to do a lot of dry firing, or you live in an area where you can only shoot on federal land and it's closed during the winter. What happened to my toes? I am allergic to antibiotics. I got some bone infections, and the bone infection spread to the point where it required amputations. What's the secret to the universe? Sitting back and watching what everybody else does and doing the opposite. Spikes, tactical, or arrow precision. For straight up build, arrow precision. For interesting stuff, spikes. Are T-Rex arms holsters worth it? I've never used one, so you should try them and let me know. I pretty much just use whatever I find. I know that they have a pretty popular following, so they're definitely worth checking out. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Sorry, I can't speak English now. Thanks, super helpful. You're very welcome, dude. YouTube has lives. Yes, YouTube has live streams. I'm guessing you came over from shorts. Cool. Hope we have fun with the upgrades. I love tinkering with your PC, but I haven't had money for upgrades in a while. But your 9th gen i5 and 3060 OC are good enough for now. For 90% of things, like unless you're playing Starfield or Alan Wake 2, yes, a 3060 overclocked and 9th gen i5, which is faster than an 8700K, is, yeah. And in fact, an i5 9th gen is as fast as a 9900K. So, what is my favorite sports car? Probably going to be my 2014 Mustang GT Trackback. That was my favorite sports car. I do like Challengers and Chargers and stuff, but yeah, my 2014 GT Trackback, because that was my first brand new car. What do I plan for the stream? I come in here without any real plans. We talk about stuff. Sometimes I'll look up like current gun news, things like that. But for the most part, we just come in here. We just kind of hang out. You guys ask me questions. I answer them. We just kind of have a back and forth. We have a good time. I like to learn things. So when you bring up stuff I don't know, I will look it up while we're talking. I don't use OBS or any kind of streaming software because it's hell and I don't like doing it. But yeah, we basically don't have a set plan here. So just come in and have fun. If you're in here and you just saw me and you're like, oh, whatever, I'm going to run away, just hit the like button on your way out. Who do I have in the Super Bowl this year? There's 2 teams, and I'm going to go for the one that scores the most points. I play sports. I don't watch sports, and since I can't play sports anymore, I don't watch sports at all. I'm going to say the Chiefs just to see what you guys say. Also, I now have blood under my fingernails. Don't ask me why. I might be bleeding. But not from a knife, just from a wound. What's my opinion on the 1967 Boss 302? I prefer a 1969, which is what my 2014 is modeled off. Fluoroquinolone is the antibiotic specifically. You just Googled it. Floxed, not flour, damn autocorrect. Okay. I mean, I'm sure my doctor would have mentioned something if they were going on a human trials. I have not seen anything about it though. That will be interesting. I'll follow it because, I'm only 44, so I have at least another year in me. So hopefully it'll be good. Haywood, what's up? You typed the number 5. I missed something. I missed something big. Sorry, dude. 69 Boss is an amazing car as well. Yep. Ender, what is your opinion on some states trying to limit Second Amendment rights? It's bullcrap. The ATF and NFA need to be repealed. We should be able to own whatever we want. We should be able to build whatever we want. And I firmly am of the belief that firearms are a self-correcting problem. States with the least number of gun control measures have also a correlating number that is lower in terms of gun violence. People know not to mess with people when those people might be armed. The meaning of life and everything is 5. It's actually 42. Not talking about me. It's another bad thing altogether. I was just wondering if you heard about it. No, sir, I have not. I have not heard anything about it, Andrew. No, I don't give shout outs to people I don't know. What's up, second husband? No. We share a wife and a dog. You are not my husband. So far, you seem to possess a solid foundation of knowledge for quite a few firearms. I have taught myself very, very, very studiously, I guess would be the way I put it. I like to learn as much as I can about as many firearms as I can, as many things. When I sold cars, I learned about every car, not just the brand I was selling. When I do PC stuff, I learn about everything except for Apple, screw Apple. But yeah, when I get into a subject, I try to become all encompassing and I become a sponge for the knowledge. I also have a thing. I do not have an eidetic memory. I am not claiming to have an eidetic memory, but I remember things that are interesting to me and I don't forget them. So when it's a subject I like to learn, I never forget it. Where am I? What am I doing here? Kind of a thing. No, I thoroughly enjoy it. I remember most of my childhood like it was 4 minutes ago, but yeah, it's just something I do and I love it. It's great. Plus, it allows me to talk to people about things. And I also know that when I don't know something, I can look it up. Cody, with a opinion on Jeeps, you totaled your Mustang and bought a Wrangler due to your increasingly severe autism. I don't know how autism comes into switching from Mustang to a Jeep, but I do like Jeeps. Wranglers are different. I've never like daily driven a Jeep, so I don't have a great response to that. But I drive a Dodge Durango, which is basically a full-size Jeep Cherokee. We watch you. Oh, you're all still sitting there, huh? Is Joe still the jetpack? I'm going to tell you this right now, Ryan. You never have to ask that question. Joe is jetpack. I'll say it in Russian. Joe is I was about to say backpack. I am jetpack. I use hydrogen and oxygen to propel myself. I also fight a lot in bed. It's also more fun to Dutch oven somebody when you're the jetpack. Do I play Fortnite? No, I don't. I don't play anything online because I have extreme nerve damage and I can't compete with any of these young bucks out there. The same way you like knowing a bit of everything. You just want to know how things work. And I've been that way since you were little, to the point of being noticeably different interest-wise since. Yeah, it's part of the fun, man. What do I think about working construction? When I was in my teens, I did roofing and a little bit of remodeling. And yeah, I'm all for it, man. Trades are the way of the world. Trades are one of those livelihoods that will never go away. I just physically couldn't keep doing it. But yeah, I was roofing when I was 14. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's amazing. It helps keep you healthy and it keeps you grounded, man. When you're building somebody else's house or you're building somebody else's business foundations, whatever you're doing in construction, man, it's a great feeling knowing something you did could possibly be there for hundreds of years. Think about the people that built all these historic buildings that have been around since the 1700s. You know, you got to give them mad props. Somebody does something right, you do something right, and it's going to stay forever. That's amazing to me. It seems you have a nice hands-on knowledge based on firearms also, so good on me. Thank you, man. You're changing your name back to backpack in your phone. Jetpack, not backpack. I don't shout out people I don't know. Sorry. No excuses. There's a no-handed gamer out there kicking ass. Yeah. All right. On top of everything else, I'm just going to say this. I suck and I don't want to get addicted. Because if I start playing and I start getting gooder, then I'm going to keep playing. Back in the day, remember when Delta Elite came out, or Delta Force came out, and we would all be playing that for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours? Yeah, that was me. So I don't want to get addicted to an online game. My favorite caliber is 45 ACP. My favorite gun is 1911's Platform. Yeah, thank you. Haywood knows me. He knows me deep inside, although he doesn't know that I'm the jetpack. You love deck and dock work, very nice construction, but you love to see the whole thing finished. Dude, a deck can make a property. My old property, we needed a deck put on there, so my dad did it, and he's very, very meticulous when he builds stuff, and it looks so good. Looks so good. Also, a crappy deck can hurt completely the value of a home. You can blow up and sell out yourself as the toeless gamer. Actually, I was going to start one because I know that I suck at the online stuff. So I was actually going to create a character called the Silky Noob. So every time I got into the lobby, this is what they would hear. You'd never hear me rage. You'd never hear me raise my voice. I'd be in there going, look out on your 6. Uh-oh, I just died. Look out, here I come. Oh my word, I'm censoring myself now. But I was going to do an entire run just doing that voice. Haley, hello. How are you? Are you here for things? You can be like, calm. Ooh. I'm not answering to that one. Thug Shake, what? Why is my voice so smooth? I don't know. Just sometimes when I'm not speaking in an authoritative voice, it just drops to a melodious level. Turn your audio up. Turn it up louder. Turn it up louder. A little bit louder. Okay! We're here to have fun! Oh boy, I sure am having fun today. Talking to you. ASMR Joe. I don't know if I could keep quiet that long, dude. It's already all the way up. No, it's the deeper register, your voice changes a little bit more when you get into your 30s. Here's an interesting thing. That you might not know. The longer you hear your voice, the more your brain actually changes your internal voice to match your external voice. Now, what I hear when I listen to myself on playbacks is actually what I sound like in my head, believe it or not. It really does. Yay! Have I ever played any instruments? Yes, when I was younger, I played piano. I unfortunately decided that playing extreme sports and punching things I shouldn't took precedence, so unfortunately I couldn't continue to play them. But yeah. Which internal voice? So the internal voice that you hear also on the recording after it's played back. So that particular one. The other 11, they're just there for your background noise. They're the jetpacks of your brain. Salesman like oratory prowess, this one has. Yoda. Car you must buy. Financing we will do. Do or do not, there is no be back later. You honestly think it's true when trying to sing and hating what it sounded like at first? Just getting better at vocal manipulation, you could definitely change your voice subconsciously. Yep. Absolutely, 100%.
I know that if I concentrate on my voice, it's the same thing that Markiplier does. He actually has to stop and think. Now, he always has a deep timbre to his voice, but if I actually stop and think about it, I can change the way I speak at any moment's notice so that it sounds either more presentational or a little bit more laid back. I also noticed that when I was selling cars for a living, I tended to change my voice depending on the kind of person I was talking to. Sometimes it would start in a normal timbre, and the next thing you know, oh boy, might have had a nice country accent, so all of a sudden all my words are coming out like this. Everybody's talking. Everybody's like, hey man, I want to check out that truck. Well, that's cool. Let's go check out that truck. You and me, we're going to drive that truck right now. We're going to go around that parking lot over there. We're going to go over by the Piggly Wiggly, see if there's any fine ladies that want to jump inside this your pickup truck. Then we're going to go back and we're going to sell it to you. Or, people that have a little bit more kind of laid back, just kind of talking, not really getting into it, just kind of one of them kind of speech patterns where it just kind of lays back on itself. Still can't stand hearing your voice played back. You don't know why. I don't really do like, I look like DJ Khaled. Bro, you need to get a better set of eyes, son. You can't stand hearing your own voice. When you get too excited, you definitely get on more nasally and higher. But when I'm tired, you have a deep, almost rumble low, if that makes sense. 100% it does, because it actually takes a lot of muscle to work your vocal cords. And a lot of people don't realize that the more tired you get, the less importance your brain actually puts on speaking. So you put less effort into talking. And that's why sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you might find that your voice is more gravelly from down here, because your voice really, this is not manipulating my vocal cords up here, it's just straight down here. You feel like your voice is so much deeper than it is. Yeah. Up until I started doing this, I used to think, man, I'm Patrick Warburton. And then I'd hear it and like,
Yeah, well, I just kind of here, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at these video games I picked up. And someday I'm going to go through puberty and kiss a girl.
give you a bottle shake. Unfortunately, the bottle is empty. But I do have this guy that Daniel bought for me. Yeah, there's some stuff in there. If you put some books or something large and flat in front of your ears, it's closer to your real voice because it's not going right from mouth to ears. It has to go around the room more and back. Yeah, like I said, or make 1,700 videos and listen to yourself over and over and over. Yeah. People with deep pipes for a voice always do better as a salesperson. That is true. We sound like we're much more capable of putting you at ease. Don't you worry about that flat tire that caused your engine to explode. You've got a warranty with Ford. Have I ever considered weaponizing the legs? I did ask to keep the feet parts when they cut all my feet parts off because I wanted to bronze them and throw them at my nephews. That's about as far as the weaponizing went. We will never be able to show others what we sound like because of the vibration in our head stimulating the bones on our ears directly, so that book thing isn't perfect. Yeah, no, it is true. It is what we hear in our brains versus what we say, and what other people attenuate from our speaking is a little bit different. Nub Team 6. I was going to come up with something really bad, but I can't say it, Sam. What's your favorite place that you can revisit commonly? My favorite place that I can revisit commonly, I don't really have one of those. I grew up in upstate New York. I lived in Fort Hood, Texas. I lived in Minnesota, went to Germany, came back. I now live in Virginia. And there's no real place that I've ever had a place that really drew me. No waterfall area, no parks, nothing like that. I'm very insular. So to say that I don't need people at all is too far in one direction, but to say that I don't rely on others for my happiness or a place for my happiness, I could take a nap and be very, very happy. Yeah. Yeah, I literally asked. They refused to give me the toes. Although if you were in the state of Virginia, Northern Virginia, sometime around 2014 to 2015, you probably got to breathe in some of my stuff. You join in and you hear about cutting foot parts. Yes, double amputee. How you doing? Also have no appendix. I'm nebulous when it comes to my attributes, and I am a bard, a human bard. It's messed up, funny but messed up. No, Team 6. Yeah, well, you know. Well, minigun, I'm sure you're familiar with cutting limbs off. Huh. Your singing voice has been compared to Bob Dylan meets the Chipmunks. We should have a right to our body parts. Here's the thing. Mine were infected. If they weren't, I could have petitioned to get them back, but because they were bone infections, osteomyelitis, and it was causing tissue damage, unfortunately, yeah, those parts had to be destroyed due to the infections. It could have caused a problem down the line. You've got to go to bed. Have a good night. Thank you so much for coming and visiting my live stream. Yep. Are you going to bed, Sam? It's like 10 o'clock on a Monday. I think it's a Monday. It could be a Thursday for all I know, but it might be Monday. You like my wristwatch? When this little thing has a shadow, when this part of there, like if I turn it, it turns. So, you know, that means it's time to go to bed. Damn thing. As weird as it seems, we grew up the damn thing ourselves. Yep. Melissa, hi. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Billy Mace here to show you the criminal removing power of Glocks. Actually, it's kind of difficult, but every now and then I'll go into a business and ask if they allow emotional support Glocks. So, although I don't carry a Glock. Why doesn't he carry a Glock? I wonder if my nose will shine. Hold on. This is where we got to in the live stream. Oh, that is so warm. I feel like it's cooking a booger. That was the dumbest thing I did tonight. I smell toast. Anybody else smell toast? Anyways, kids, we're at 10:14. We've gone well over 3 hours. I had a good time. Hopefully you guys did as well. The insanity does ensue 3 times a week, even when I'm not feeling like it. I will be here when I was sick. You smell bone nerd. Are you in my ceiling? I just put a hole in my ceiling with a compensator for a 1911. I hope you're happy, Haywood. It's 4 a.m. out there with you. That's awesome. I put a bright-ass flashlight in your mouth in the dark once to see what would happen, and a hazer red was over everything, and it scared you. Yeah, you got to be careful. Don't do that with an Olight. That's the whole stigma around Olight is some dude put one in his mouth. The seal around the battery wasn't good, and the lithium battery exploded in his face hole. You went the whole stream without a pee break. That's right, because I emptied the tank before we started. Plus, I'm not feeling as bad, and technically, I didn't have a whole one of these because this is still full. Carl, thanks for coming in, dude. Thank you so much. Ryan, you have a good night. What do you do on this channel? I do everything, son. I do firearms reviews. I bounce them off of couches. I throw them down ranges. I do a little bit of car stuff, a little bit of computer stuff. I talk out the side of my face hole so that people enjoy it. That's about all I do. It's kind of mostly firearms, but a little bit of the nonsense when it comes to the live stream. So you should definitely like it and come back for Wednesdays. So play Subway Sexist, please. No, I can't play anything on a live stream on YouTube, and even if I could, I don't know who that is. Made you think you could damage your vision since light was going through your face, not the normal way. So you stop. That is hilarious. Mr. Mike, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, starting at 7 p.m., and we go until either I'm tired or the viewership has dropped off to nothing. Unfortunately, I have to leave ads on, so you guys have been served ads if you're coming in here. I do apologize, but it's the only way to get the algorithm to work in YouTube, so appreciate it. And I make like $1 over the course of a month. You're going to sub because it's cool. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate it. I'm a minigun. Sorry. Yes, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm in Northern Virginia, so I'm on East Coast time. So it's 7 p.m. Eastern, and I go usually anywhere from 2.5 to 5 hours. But tonight I'm a little bit tired, and I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, so I can't stay up too late tonight. That's right. I have the bedtime. So I'm going to have a go to the bedtime. Misa like it the bedtime. Do you have a knife collection? No. I stabbed myself 3 times last year with knives. I don't carry knives. I have a knife that I take to work with me, but I don't actually carry knives. I've shot myself 0 times. Well, I ricocheted into my head once, but yes, I've stabbed myself 3 times, so I don't trust myself. I had to leave ad blocks on. Your ad block, Charles Heston laughing gif. Get your hands off me, you damn
Dirty ads. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern till whenever we go to bed. So thank you very much. And as I'm on bed rest, I'm actually going to be sitting a little bit lower, so you might see it down a little bit. You have a coin collection. Awesome, dude. Coin collections are rock on. I have a couple of coins that I like to collect. I like silver certificates and silver stacking, so I have some silver coins. I don't have any like real rare things, so I have like a 1918 Liberty Walking Liberty dollar. But other than that, I don't have anything. So come back because we have a lot of stuff. You like how we were just keeping me live a little bit longer. Yeah, well, you know, I'm about to dip out. So on that note, Mr. Minigun, you just ruined it for everybody. I'm kidding. You didn't ruin it for anybody. But as you guys are dipping out, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, it shows YouTube, hey, man, some idiot did a live stream and you enjoyed it. Also, it will help get me thrown out to shorts, which apparently is where all you people are coming from. So thank you. Jimkin Nuggy, thank you so much. To say hi to Tucker Budson for me. No, we are not going to be saying that. You think you're funny, but I'm 44. I'm a lot older than you. Dang, I'm famous. No, I'm not famous, son. I did a couple of shorts where I trolled people and people really liked it. Yeah, come back for more, man. We have fun on the channel. I'm not famous. Yeah, 18 likes for hundreds of people. I don't care, dude. I'm doing this just because I like to be here. I don't care if I make any money doing this. Like when you donated the $5, that was like, awesome, man. That's terrific. It makes it worth it for me. But I don't ever want anybody to think they have to. I'm going to become one of those people where you have to donate to me. I appreciate you doing it because you're an awesome Chad. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people that are actually here. So all of you that are here for that, I really do appreciate it. You'll be back Wednesday, and you suggest a few guys too. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. What content do I normally make? Mostly firearms. Go over to the long form side, click on my name when this thing's over, and you'll see that I do long form gun reviews where I'll take them apart, show you what the internals, things like that, and how to reassemble them. But the shorts is just whatever nonsense that comes to my head. I bounce them off the couch and stuff. Also, if you see guns on a couch, that's probably me or it's somebody copying me. So there is those. Yeah. All right, son. You are done. Bye-bye. Okay, this is a gun couch video. Pretty much. What's my favorite gun? 1911s, chambered in 45 ACP. Get yourself something nice with it. Dude, I intend to, man. I very much do. All right, I'm out. You guys, thank you so much for coming in. Leave a like on your way out. Come back for the next one. And, as always, I'll talk to you later after I push this button twice because it never works the first time. Here we go!